Crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover.
It just crossed him over. Danced to
another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Time for the crossover, powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Good morning, gentlemen. Matt and Josh.
Morning.
Hey, done.
Not well.
Whoa, not well.
Yeah,
So did the guy get wind of the conversation yesterday?
The Bears
and hunt
lost
you
again.
down?
What guy? Oh no, that guy didn't. No. That guy didn't hunt me down. And no, the Bears cannot lose. The Bears cannot hurt me currently right now in the month of February.
We'll see.
You'd be surprised.
I have been reading the free agency outlook, and they got a lot of guys that they're probably going to end up letting go, which I knew already, but it's a little like, that during the middle of the year that you can't re-sign certain guys, but then you start it starts becoming reality, and then you.
All right, what are you mad about?
All right, cool, whatever. I agree. I appreciate you cutting me off.
I was just
Sometimes
say,
you just gotta,
tough outlook for the Mississippi River Bears.
Big time. I'm moving apartments, and I'm not apartment complexes, but apartment units.
Uh-huh.
And I've never been more excited because
yeah,
yesterday. So I've told you, I live next to one set of college students, but there's another set of college students that I live next to, and they are definitely really in their party era right now because for the about third time in about 6 weeks, they were loud, which is fine.
Oh, old man Matt.
Old man Matt.
This is good.
They were loud up until the last 2 times. They were loud until like 12:30.
Were they hanging out at luxury grocery stores before they came back to their apartment?
I don't know. I don't know what they were doing.
How many rotisserie chickens did they buy?
I saw that article. No, they were, God knows what they were doing before, but at one, it's a group of girls who I share, my bedroom wall is their kitchen, essentially.
Yikes.
And they're family living area. And so when The Bachelor was going on and Dancing with the Stars was going on, they would get loud sometimes, whatever.
A lot of wooing.
Yeah, basically. And
white girl wooing.
Getting really, upset or happy or whatever. Yesterday that they had a bunch of these dudes over.
They found alcohol.
And they could not have been more obnoxious and loud, and they were doing karaoke.
I am so glad that you have begun to morph into an old man.
I was so pissed.
This is incredible.
It was 1:38, and the guy was singing "Without Me" from Eminem, and I'm like, this loser thinks that singing this rap song in front of these chicks in their apartment is going to make him look cool, and they're going to want to get with him now because he knows the words to "Without Me."
Maybe he just really wanted to rap it.
And I was just like, this is no, it was embarrassing. And then I don't know, I kicked the wall at one point to be for them to know that they're being ridiculous. And then they kind of started to get a little
reactive
rowdy.
Escalator.
Yeah. And then it was
he can't help himself.
And then it was 2:15, and I literally could not go to bed. I took videos of the sound that was coming.
Did you go and knock?
Well, I was a college kid once too, and so I didn't want to start a fight with them in that moment. I was tired.
You were just kicking walls.
And I just hit it once, but I put in a formal complaint.
You snitched.
I called and I
to the office.
Yeah, I called the security.
Matt McSnitch.
I called the security and I go, I would like you to put in a formal complaint against this apartment. It is 2:15 in the morning. I have work. I'm an adult. This cannot happen again.
Did they laugh at you when you said that you're an adult? Generally, when people have to say they're an adult,
they were like,
I am a surgeon.
They were. I am a surgeon. I am a surgeon. No, I mean, but what I didn't want is the guy, the security, to go and knock on the door and to be like, you guys got to be quiet because the room next to you is complaining, because then there was 4 dudes in there and I was not going to get into an altercation,
I got a couple things for you. Number one, bad news.
Yeah,
I got bad news for you.
It ain't gonna change anything.
No, and I'm not even specifically, it goes beyond that, because this unfortunately will happen to you for the rest of your life. There will be something that is making noise at all times, forever, constantly. It doesn't matter where it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter how far secluded you are from the population of the United States. You will be bothered by noise, and it gets worse the further and further you go on.
I just realized we're in another topic today where I can just be like, yeah, I don't have a lot that I can offer here.
That's right. Hearing topics.
Listening to Happer say this, I'm like, well, I mean, there's an antidote, but it only exists for me.
It has downsides.
I started getting a headache.
Real
yesterday.
downside.
Like I started getting a legitimate headache yesterday because I was in need of sleep, and I could not physically sleep.
So I have this. I mean, I live in a house with my family, and yes, it's one thing to have a small child. Obviously, they're making noise, but sometimes they go to take a nap, and then you're like, "Wow, this is amazing. It's so quiet. I'm enjoying my time. Maybe the windows are open." And it is at that exact moment when the neighbor's dog comes out and barks incessantly for 35 minutes straight.
35?
They don't do anything about it. They
I
don't
heard about this dog.
The neighbors don't do anything about it. And it just barks and barks and barks at nothing forever and ever and ever.
5 minutes.
It'll never stop. And so you just have to, it's just kind of one of those things.
I
get angry every day. So I could either choose to be further angered by it or just attempt to live.
Will you
my
leave
life.
a note before you leave that just like your dog sucks?
Maybe like the day before we move, I will yell at somebody.
Or would you hide a note in the drawer for the people that buy the house and be like, sorry about the dog?
Mate,
We
that's
didn't
not
like
a bad
it
idea.
either.
That's not a bad idea.
I had
Hopefully the dog's not out when people come visit the house.
I had an old man moment because I was like laying in my bed, and this had happened before back in Lincoln, where shared a wall, they got too loud, and it was like 3 years ago. And I walked over there and I knocked on the door. I was like, guys, come on.
Just
What do we do?
let's be real here.
Like I got to go to bed. And I had no want, like no energy. No, I didn't want to get dressed or anything like that, or like put on clothes and walk over there and knock on the door and like look these guys in the eye and be like, you guys are a bunch of jackasses. Like I had no want to do that. I was like, that kind of hit me in the face a little bit.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
where I'm like, I am much more akin to going on the phone and calling the security.
So in the meantime, keeping in mind the first thing I said about this will just be a thing for the rest of your life, no matter what, you could, in theory, move to a place where there will be less rowdy, rambunctious children.
So that's happening in June.
Okay. I'm not saying you're going to avoid the noise.
Sure.
But you might be at a better place.
We are specifically moving to the unit that we are moving to because we don't have neighbors over there. Like there's no connecting walls, or there's nobody else that would like we would share anything with.
Somebody's taking that apartment.
So no, we got it.
No, but somebody's taking the apartment next to it.
Oh, probably. Oh, for sure.
You're gonna
without
get
a doubt.
neighbors. Yeah.
Oh my God. If we get the baseball team again, I'm gonna lose
sauerkraut.
I'm gonna dude. Well, I walked into
Jays.
I walked into the apartment today, and Dan, my roommate, goes, "Yeah, no smell." I go, "They're in California."
Yeah, there
I
you go.
go, "That's why." I go, "There's no smell today because they're stinking up the Marriott over in St. Mary's."
I don't think they're in the Marriott.
Okay. What are they in a motel?
No,
Or-
it's not that.
Okay.
I just, well, maybe they were in the Marriott. I don't know.
Thought it was just, yeah, maybe they're in a motel.
I don't know.
All right, so
They're not in a motel.
I told you guys I had a topic today for the crossover. It got me.
Oh, this wasn't it.
Oh, yeah.
No, this was not it. This is
You
me.
just asked him how he was doing.
This is just me. Yeah. What? I said I wasn't doing well. I got 3 hours of sleep last night. All right, and I have a long day ahead of me. I'm supposed to go to
12
Lincoln.
minutes.
No, we were just-
Yeah, it was just 12 minutes on how
We were
are
just
you.
clarifying.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know, there was a lot of Happer talking there. All right.
That's true. I egged him on.
So if we were to make a Monopoly board, but of
Oh,
Omaha, what would it be?
Oh, I think
Like-
people have done this before.
Yeah, well,
What if-
communities often do this.
yeah.
What would the Omaha Monopoly?
Boardwalk.
So like the Omaha Boardwalk, the Omaha Park Place.
I think the
Mhm.
Park Place would be Farnham, and the Boardwalk would be.
Oh, do they have to be streets, or I thought they could be just places.
I thought it'd
Oh.
be places, not streets.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were streets.
No.
Oh, I thought it was.
I think these are literal places.
Oh, okay. Then I would not be good at this.
Well, you
I
could
would
do,
not.
you
Well,
could do
we-
the street
now-
Monopoly.
I can street Monopoly. I have.
Okay.
I thought about it.
So I want to clarify when communities like Columbus did this when I was growing up. Lincoln has done this since I've lived
Yeah.
there. I know Omaha has done this. they tend to put places, not streets.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that your viewpoint of monopoly is wrong.
Sure.
It's just that when I've seen people do this, it's places.
I went to streets.
And then when Game of Thrones has a monopoly, it's places.
Yeah.
You know.
So would you like the outsider to try and attempt to do the streets of
Sure.
Omaha, and
I
then we
don't have
can
any
we
problem
can
with it.
correct and move from there?
I mean,
Okay.
as a larger outsider than you,
Sure.
having
Well,
lived here less time,
but you grew up in Nebraska.
doesn't mean I spent time in Omaha.
That's a good point.
Omaha is not
All
Nebraska.
right, we can do this together.
People
We
forget.
can do this together.
Sure.
So my boardwalk and Park Place would be Dodge and Farnham.
So, okay, but also what's like, what are we doing here? How are you imagining this? Are you imagining like there are no businesses, like all the businesses are clear, all the real estate is clear on these streets, and like we start anew, or just like what the status of the street currently
What the
is?
status of the street currently is.
Okay. All right.
That's what I was thinking.
Dodge is most certainly the number one pick.
Dodge and Farnham.
Yeah.
Because you get Blackstone on Farnham. This is kind of where I was.
Farnham
thinking.
is the most it's probably the most historic street,
Okay.
maybe. If that's a thing.
So then I did
Maybe
it.
maybe 10th,
My
maybe
red
13th.
My red Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky was pretty easy for me. Maple, Pine, and
What's
then
Pine.
was when you go down 72nd, there's the Maple and the
Oh yeah, that's just a side street. Don't
okay.
take Pine.
Maple, Blondo.
Yeah, the main streets in Omaha from north to south are. Let's start at Fort. Sorry, north of Fort. Sorry, Schaefer.
That's right.
Fort,
I can see Fort from my house.
Fort, Maple, Blondo, Dodge,
Perfect.
Pacific,
Okay.
Center,
Yeah.
LQ,
So
whatever.
we'll go
and then Harrison.
Maple. It was
Yeah.
Maple, Blondo, and then I was gonna ask for the third.
Is there an argument for Center over
Ooh.
Farnham?
I had Center.
Depends on if you're a north guy or south guy. I've been a north guy my whole life.
So where the yellows are, I was gonna have Center, Saddle Creek, and I know Center and Saddle Creek are like one.
you can
and the
take
same.
cross streets. I mean, hell,
I'm
I'd
doing-
take 72nd. I'd take
Oh,
10th.
really?
I'd take
Oh,
13th.
okay.
Yeah.
So I was gonna go Center, Saddle, and then
Saddle Creek.
Saddle Creek, Center, and then I just lost it.
If you get Saddle
Oh,
Creek, do you get Blair High Road and the whatever?
Oh,
you
wow.
know,
And
whatever
then
that's
I was gonna
squeals
take.
up to.
Here's what I got: Center, Saddle Creek, and Leavenworth were going to be my like greens.
I think this works better with places. As
Okay,
opposed to
fair
streets.
enough. I tried.
Well, no, it's
tried
not
being
the.
creative.
It's just like it's. I think it's harder when you're doing the streets because the community.
It
is
also
so
very
vast.
it very highly depends on just where you live.
That's good.
Like I don't care at
'Cause,
all
like-
about Harrison Street because that's 40 minutes away from where I live.
So, Matt, like, would you consider this part of Dodge to be boardwalk-esque?
No, not really.
It's got Dundee. It's it's you're going
Smells
down
like
Happy
skunks
Hollow.
in the morning.
Only to
Um,
some people apparently.
Yeah.
I
Haber lost his sense of smell.
I got COVID.
I like Dodge. I like Dodge from basically Old Market all the way up to 30th, and then I like Dodge from 72nd to 120.
All right. So I am looking at the
So 30
official Omaha Monopoly.
Yes, I have
Ooh.
received a text.
Is that what Chance sent me?
Yes,
Okay. Maybe it's not as blurry as the one I'm looking at.
I got the one.
Okay. The one I'm looking at has Mutual of Omaha and the Old Market as Boardwalk and Park Place.
Okay.
Mutual of Omaha Tower.
Mhm.
Well, that's a brand new game, man. This is crazy. This
Wow.
is the same one that
Yeah.
Chance sent me.
This is a better image. Thank you, Chance. The
Uh,
UNO Bell Tower is
Oh,
one of the
is-
green
is it
spots.
so these are
Atlantic.
just landmarks.
Yeah, as well as the
What's-
Chuck and Werner Park.
I
Sports-
wondered if they were going to put like the Chuck, CHI, and something else all together.
All right. So what are the cheapest ones?
This
Let's
is
go.
amazing.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Boys Town,
Like having
Jos,
to turn your computer to view the image.
Boys Town,
Zarinsky?
Joslin, the Children's Museum,
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
Baltic?
the
Is the Children's Museum?
No.
Zarinsky, and Memorial. I mean, we get some good
Memorial
stuff.
Park is
Memorial Park display.
the Baltic Avenue of Omaha.
Memorial Park is?
Memorial Park display. How is CHI Health Center in a purple world and like the Chuck box is on the green?
Well, CHI is in the
Newer.
pinks.
CHI what?
Is in the pink, not the purple.
I'm sorry, pink, purple. What's the difference?
There's a difference because purple is what we would consider Baltic and the other one.
What?
Well,
No.
in their rods and cones, there's a difference too.
You talk about the light blue? That ain't pink.
No, where the chai is, that's pink.
That's purple, pink, whatever. It's the same thing.
It's pink.
All right. It didn't get higher billing than it maybe deserved. Made in Omaha.
Would
Is
you
this
put
game
the-
made by Made in Omaha?
So if you were doing this, Happer, you would put the CHI over the Chuck.
No, I wouldn't put it
Okay.
over the Chuck. I was making an argument for it to be closer to the Chuck.
I
in
love how
status.
on this Monopoly Omaha edition, there's just a rendering of what the Mutual of Omaha building will look like.
I mean, it will look like that.
Like that is
The
not
skyscraper.
that
I
is
bet it
not that is not a real picture.
Look at this. We get a live tweet from Platcat, who
Hi,
is
Platcat.
on the boardwalk of Omaha,
Whoa.
a.k.a. West Dodge Road. Looks like he's near 168th, coming east, I think.
I like Dodge. I don't love Dodge. I don't know what my favorite street in Omaha. Probably Leavenworth.
Sam writes
I
in,
think I'm a Leavenworth guy.
instead of stacking houses, you'd stack car washes in Omaha Monopoly. I'd like to buy a car wash. I'd
That's
like to
pretty
buy
great.
6 car
That's funny.
washes.
If you're doing street version, it's definitely car wash
Car washes and
Street version is called
and coffee shops. Right?
coffee shops or maybe just like scooters in general,
Yeah.
or like
Scooter sponsors it,
Yeah.
and so it's Scooters, coffees, and then it's Jet Splash car wash.
what else do we have a lot of? Car washes and what?
Hy-Vees.
I think coffee shops are the
Coffee
next.
shops might be the right answer.
Okay,
for this.
okay. This
Restaurants in general.
it has
There
been
are-
brought
That's
to my
every community.
attention.
No, I'm
What do
gonna
we
be
got? What do we
real.
got?
There's a lot more restaurants in Omaha than there are places. That
It's
I've
what
been.
we don't
I'm
have on
talking
here.
Hold on, hold
good
on.
local establishments.
Sure.
The zoo,
Yeah, what are we doing?
not on this board.
Omaha Monopoly is canceled.
Actually,
How's the
that
zoo
should be
not on?
Boardwalk.
Yeah,
That
the
should
zoo
be
should be the
Boardwalk.
#1 spot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Unless it goes Mega Savers.
We do got a lot. Casey's.
Casey's.
You'd be surprised like how many I really did not grow up
So
with
it's
that
like
many
gas
local
stations?
restaurants around my area. Not nearly as much as what Omaha.
Car washes and gas stations.
Really?
No. We had Sanders, Seven Brothers. We
I mean,
had
I
like
don't know
six.
the area of
we
Chicago.
had I had like
So I'm
6
just comparing
local,
you to Logan Square.
I had like 6 local restaurants in my area that weren't like a Panda Express, Buffalo Wild Wings, Subway, that stuff. Like in Omaha has a lot of local places, local restaurants, and I love it.
But
I'm a
you're
big
also
fan.
expanding Omaha, which is much larger than the community of which you grew up.
Yeah, you're talking about like your neighborhood.
You're talking about the specific suburb, whereas Omaha is a city.
I mean, like the old market.
Now, if you're
though.
talking about Chicago in general, thousands of local.
oh, yeah. But also too, I'm talking from like even a driving perspective. Like if we were to drive places, like
it's
there's
very
a-
slow to drive in.
But well, yeah,
Chicago.
but it's a closer drive to a lot of local restaurants around here in Omaha than it is to where I grew up. I think there are a lot, and it's only a compliment. I love it. I love how many local.
I know
places can
this
eat.
from going from Lincoln to Omaha. The expanse of local restaurants is enormous, but that has more to do with Lincoln being
Yeah.
Chaintown, USA.
Sure. But
Garbage
wasn't
town.
somebody one time told me that at one point Omaha had like the most restaurants per capita in the United States?
I don't know that at all. I don't know.
Somebody one time told me that.
I don't know if I would believe that.
It
So
could be.
Did we determine a second thing beyond?
Yeah,
car
that's what I'm
washes?
trying to figure out. Car washes and what? Car washes and what?
Banks.
Not really.
So are we a bank? I mean, we are a bank town.
American Inns or
Oh. Thought we're going a different direction.
no.
there. Yeah.
America Inns.
That he was going to the NATO.
How many
direction?
Americans do we have? More
One.
than- yeah, we have the one on Dodge. It's very prominent for the record, but
A lot of people asking if it would be possible to stack potholes on
Good
your
one.
Monopoly board.
good one. Yeah, like if you hit a pothole,
hit a
you go to
pothole.
jail or
Mhm.
something.
There's
That
not
would be
jail,
a
it's
chance
just-
card.
There's not jail. It's just potholes.
you have
You
to
blow
pay
a tire.
You have to pay the streetcar tax, even harder.
Oh wow.
One chance card is you become the Nebraska athletic director. Write a book. And
Does that mean
collect
the railroad-
$200?
Is the railroad just the streetcar stops?
Yeah.
'Cause there's probably only 4 of those as well.
Yeah, they
Well,
pay
do you
like
do you have
30
to
blocks,
do you have to
so-
pay $500 million every time you stop on a
And if you just so happen to have a restaurant or a business,
You
in
gotta
the
close it
vicinity
down.
of this
You take-
the streetcar,
you
must cancel your business.
You take a chance card. The streetcar is doing construction on your streets. Take away one property from each street you own.
That's
Yeah,
it.
for like 4
That's it.
turns.
Yeah, that's
That's
it.
100%.
Monopoly.
Oh no! The College World Series and the swim trials are in town at the same time. Lot A has been canceled. Lot B has been canceled.
So what is the character if it's Uncle Moneybags in regular Monopoly? What is the Omaha character?
Warren Buffett.
Yeah, Rich
Is
Uncle
it-
Warren.
Rich
Is it
Uncle Warren.
Buffett?
Yeah, then Warren's house is on the board probably.
Because I kind of wanted it to be Bud Crawford and all the pictures and everything.
About Mayor Gene, former Mayor Gene.
You accidentally hit one of the people that are taking pictures in front of Warren Buffett's house. Go straight to jail.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good card.
Mm-hmm. We do not have descriptors of those people.
We do not.
Somebody did once.
Careful.
Yes. Yes, we did do that one.
That was a fun crossover. But yeah, that's a possibility of something that could happen to you in Omaha.
It's like,
Oh no, the airport will be under construction for 6 more years. But it is getting a runza.
A sinkhole has popped up on 16th Street.
They've started construction on the interstate right before the College World Series.
Oh no, there has been a national tragedy that has occurred, and the president must fly to your Air Force base. Please make room.
That happened.
Yeah.
You've been elected to the state legislature, but you pick up a DUI 6 months into your term. Go straight
Ouch.
to jail.
Ouch.
Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 College World Series tickets.
Oh man. 200 College World Series tickets made me think of GA books. We got to do something
RIP.
like that. GA books. Congratulations, you just won a GA book for landing
Those
on
are great.
I'd
certain
kill a man
spot.
for a GA book.
I know, who wouldn't? I would kill a man for GA.
What is a GA book?
So all the seats
Enlighten
in,
me.
all the seats in the outfield used to be just general admission,
Yeah.
and people would go to Hy-Vee and buy books of tickets. They would sell books of tickets. So you get, what was it, 100 of them or something like that?
And then
I mean,
they control
Yeah.
them a lot more from that point forward. And so you could apply to get
Wow.
like
Yeah.
a
And so the-
season ticket worth of books for the College World Series.
And the way that
Really?
you got into the games was to wait in line in the outfield, and it would stretch for
this is
miles
how I
and
went to
miles.
probably
Yeah.
the first dozen College World Series games of my life.
Same.
Nice.
And then I
like
started
this.
just like, I'm going to pay for tickets.
This
I'm not
sounds like-
going to
That's
do
right.
This sounds like when we would go to Jewel Osco and buy our Six Flags Great American tickets. You know, you go
It
back
sounds
there.
just like that.
Yeah, and you get like your books of tickets for the season of going to the summer amusement park.
Mhm.
It's like you always had that like grocery day where you go and get your tickets.
Many would point to that moment and say that's when a part of Omaha died, when the GA books went away.
If Wrigley Field ever becomes non-GA, then Wrigley will die. That will. The fact that place is still GA is awesome. Have you been to the bleachers?
No.
Have you been in the bleachers?
In Wrigley? No.
Yeah, gotcha.
Basically the only spot I haven't sat in over
You
there.
have to. You have to do the bleachers. But
I would love to.
Not
Gotta-
in the summer, not during the day.
yeah, gotta do it at night. Have we already had this
Not when your
crossover?
BAC is already over 1.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
we've talked about
That's the problem with Wrigley.
Don't sit
They're-
next to a random reactor of Chicago Cubs games who likes to put their things on the internet. That would be horrible. Oh my God! Home run by Nico Horner.
My Cubbies.
That would be horrendous. If I sat next to one of those people, I would leave.
There are a lot of people that you would not enjoy.
Did you know that I had my portrait drawn by one of the people that would go over to the bleachers or whatever?
I had that too over Murphy's. You'd go
Yeah,
to Murphy's. It was
Murphy's.
that old woman.
Yep.
Yeah, she passed away sadly.
Brunt's basically paid her to do it and then got
Yeah.
the photo, framed it, and gave it to me.
What
I
was
had a
this like?
mustache.
Like
at
what?
the time.
2012, 2000.
Yeah, it was one of the Big Ten media days right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I had a
know.
mustache, so that would have been 2014.
She's a sweet lady. Sweet lady.
I drank an exorbitant amount of beers at a Big Ten Media Days outing at a Cubs game once.
Hello.
Wow.
Like exorbitant.
What's an exorbitant amount?
I don't know.
What is like 13?
I bought a Cubs hat.
Whoa.
That's how drunk I was.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Murphy's Bleacher still has the classic, like they just have the little counter and like it's kind of hidden. You just go up there and you look at this old guy and you go, burger. And he goes, okay. and then he gives you a burger, and he
I love
goes,
that.
$8.50, and I'm like, fine, and he's
Yeah.
like, cool.
May those places never die.
And it's just like you barely even know they have like a kitchen back there. It's just like they're kind of in their
You
own.
have
Yeah,
to
I
know-
didn't even know there was.
Yeah.
You have to know what you're. It's the same thing with the College
There's
World
a
Series. You have to
bar
know
that's
what you're
along the
doing.
side,
Yes, there is.
and that's where you get your drink.
yes,
only
You
big time.
way-
don't deal with the front.
No, you
You're
do
on
not.
The side.
Exactly. And you got to go. So where you got your picture drawn, there's a bar all the way back there, right next to the Wrigley Field model. That's where you get your drink.
The only way to get deals, the only way to do things, like in a semi sneaky way. There's no like Groupons or anything like that. It's experience, baby.
It
It's the only way.
$1,000,000%. You got it. You
Which I
got.
love.
I could not agree more. Same thing with
Dude,
like
Groupon still exists.
I had a great question actually. I
You
don't
know-
know.
you know
Maybe that
what?
was a 2013.
There was a
build
moment
thing.
where Groupons felt like they were taking over America.
this is my.
Everybody had a
I'm going to
Groupon
ask this
to Top
question and then
Golf.
we're gonna end this cross.
Still a website.
But like
Okay, good.
I used to like go ahead and like let's say I was buying something from a Nike store. I would look Nike promo, right? Or I would look up 47.
Oh, you're trying to get a code.
Like trying to get a code. And it has never worked. I've maybe tried it 20 times and it's never worked.
Try it with pizza places.
I'm
It'll work.
genuinely curious though.
They'll just give you the pizza.
I'm genuinely curious if anybody has ever done that and been actively successful.
I'm sure
as
there's
of late.
some good websites
Yeah,
out
again,
there.
like
Yeah.
if you pizza, fast food, whatever, you can find like 10%
Well-
off, 25% off.
I just make new emails for that stuff.
I remember the times
How
where
many emails have you created in your life?
5.
That didn't seem as high as I thought.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember the
I've
time
created
where
5 for various reasons.
Papa John's would give you a buy one. I think it was a buy one get one pizza or a $5 pizza if the Royals scored 5 runs and win.
Oh, wow.
And won with promo code Royals5. That was great.
Great.
Time for me in college because
Any-
they were good in college.
Anytime the Bulls scored over 100 points, you got a Big Mac. And we would go to Bulls games. Dad'd be like, all right, we got dinner for tomorrow.
Godfather's Pizza.
We'd walk out the UC and Dad go say thank you to Joe Kim Noah. Thank you, Joaquin.
Doug McDermott was almost single-handedly responsible for moving up the Godfather's Pizza number.
Yeah.
Because they would hit it every single game, and then they were like, "We need to do 75." They
It
should
was-
have
it
done
was
higher.
60?
I think it was 65 or 70.
Okay.
It's sadder
Yeah.
when it's the other way, when they have to lower the
Lower it,
number
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. Like
It
Nebraska
was-
football.
It was
having-
hard to get to 70 back in the day.
Mhm.
I mean,
That's crazy.
I was impressed when Nate Funk was dropping 12.
Nebraska.
I was like, "Whoa, this is extra next level stuff."
Nebraska football struggling to get sacks to the point where multiple home games would go by and nobody could have their free Big Macs.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was
kind of amazing.
It is.
That is kind of amazing. Do you know that like Giannis Antetokounmpo was like his free throw percentage goes down 43% when there's chicken on the line? So, like,
chicken.
like he
Strikes me as a guy that would intentionally miss the free throw so that
Yeah.
everyone in the arena could get chicken.
in his lifetime he's 20% from the free throw line when there's
Boban
chicken
did
on
it
the
once,
line.
I think, didn't he?
Yeah, on purpose, yeah. But I don't think if Boban tried making the free throw, I don't think he would make it either. So maybe it's a good cop out for Boban. All right, that's the crossover. Powered by Ever Level Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Boys, enjoy your weekend. Middays with Matt is up next.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. That's an absolutely horse crap call.
Make room for Daddy! But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Chicago is.
This is Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt here on 1620 The Zone. Matt McMaster is always joined by Josh Odson.
Last time you can say that.
Whoa! You're not going to be in studio on Monday, are you?
I'm not. You'll be blessed with the Peter Man.
Peter, all right. We'll have Krenzer. What will I say after that? Matt McMaster, as almost always.
Almost always, occasionally joined by.
97% of the time, joined by Josh Odson. And then the streak will really come to an end in 2 weeks from today. I will be on a plane I will just be in Chicago. I'm actually flying out the day before.
Okay.
So I will not be here on Friday. You know who you'll be joined by?
I don't.
One of the guests on our shows today.
Brian Christopherson.
Okay. First off, that might be a viable candidate in the future to do that. Okay. No, Austin Jacobsen.
Oh, he's good too.
Yeah, he's okay. He's definitely like, if we were to, should we do a power rankings of all our guests on our show so far?
Lauren Michelson, number 1.
Whoa. I would take Sip, number 1.
Of course you would. Probably feel bad after you accosted him yesterday.
What do you mean I accosted him?
Shouting match.
We did say it's been a while since I got into an altercation.
Scaring the children.
What do you mean scaring the children? He said it wasn't detrimental to Nebraska football.
You guys were going round and round with each other. I thought fisticuffs were going to break out.
Okay, first off, I would not fight Steve Sipple. He was a silver glove boxer back in his heyday. All right, that guy, he's got the left hook of a Greek god. Okay, I'm not trying to get into an altercation with that man, even if he's a little bit older now.
Whoa.
What? I can't point out that maybe he's lost a step.
Oh, lost a step. Wow. Hope that doesn't get back to him. Platcat in the chat. Merritt Beeson is never coming back after you chose Sipple over.
Okay.
her.
We're talking about reoccurring guests.
Oh, reoccurring.
If we're talking about one-off guests, have we had another guest in studio?
Austin came in studio one time.
That, yeah. Who cares?
Who cares?
He might be in studio today. I don't know.
I would love for him to be.
I would love for him to be as well. He will join us, by the way. All right, so we'll just cut to the chase here. We have to reestablish Mike Schaefer forgot his muff. Muff man. Missing muff man, Mike Schaefer. That's what we call him.
It's okay.
We do need the cup. Are you going to clean out that thing yet?
Yeah, next week.
Next week, we are cleaning out the studio.
Tell Josh his Sports Illustrateds are going to get thrown away.
Oh, no, Josh's books. Ooh, what's he going to do? He actually recommended me a book yesterday. I bought it. I started reading it. Kind of hooked. If I'm being honest.
Look at that.
I know. All right. So we pride ourselves here on schedules. The schedules is completely messed up today for our interview. So let's run through it. At 11:45 today, we will have the odd news. At 12 o'clock today, we will have Brian Christopherson from 247 Sports to talk to us about Husker basketball along with Husker football. The reason Brian is going from 12 o'clock or 11:30 typically on Fridays to 12 o'clock today is because Fred Hoiberg speaks at 11:30 for his press conference before the Nebraska Cornhuskers take on the Northwestern Wildcats. That game, I believe, is at 12 o'clock on Saturday between the Cats and the Huskers. So BC will join us at 12. At 12:40, we will be joined by Austin Jacobsen to talk about high school sports. Next week is a big week in high school sports. We will start the skate wrestling tournament and the skate wrestling championship. So Austin will be here to talk to us about that. And then following Mr. Austin Jacobsen, we will have the incomparable Evan Bland on the show at 1 o'clock because baseball begins today, says some people. very loudly.
Some people will even watch baseball this weekend.
I was putting people in the frame that would do that.
Oh, okay. Not you.
I'll watch Husker baseball tonight.
Okay.
I would say that Husker baseball was the team that officially made me like this is my school. You know?
Interesting.
Because, we had COVID and you couldn't go to the games. You couldn't really, participate in activities. You couldn't really do anything that like tied you to the new university that you're there. And so on top of that, so that was kind of hard connecting with the school and connecting with the athletics program for me. Like, granted, I was like, eventually I'm going to be all in here. Right. But it was their run, when that got stopped against Arkansas that really made me go, wow, I love being a Husker. I love being into it. So baseball is a special place in my heart for Husker baseball. I'm a very regional baseball fan. I follow my teams. I don't follow anybody else.
I love baseball. Love watching baseball.
I know you do.
This weekend is a little like MAC-tion, where people are just excited it exists, but will not actually partake in it. Oh, I love MAC-tion. Love having football on a Tuesday night.
Greatest take.
Love having football on a Tuesday night. I'm going to get in there really. Chippewas really need it tonight. And you don't actually watch.
Man, have you seen the BG Eagles? I just read that their tight end had 1,200 receiving yards this season, but I'm going to act as if I've watched them all year. This is a great take by you because the amount of tweets that I've seen on my timeline from people being like, it starts today.
It'd be our America's pastime.
Lock in. It's college baseball. Road to Omaha begins.
Really important that Oregon State gets off to a good start because they're, the conference is a little wacky for them right now. So they need every marquee win that they can get.
Is that Pac-12 Patrick?
I don't know. It's just kind of an amalgamation of people.
That sounded like Pac-12 Patty Waves. They call me Patty Waves, but I grew up playing baseball over in Santa Clara, California. And my dad he got drafted by the Angels. And then, he wanted to start a family, so he didn't make it up. But he was really good friends with Darren Erstad. He was my coach one year. And then, I could have gone D2, but I just stayed here, flooded with the ocean. Vibe. But yeah, I'm a Beaver fan. So there you go. College baseball begins today. Should we really be making that many jokes about college baseball since we are the home of the College World Series?
A lot of people will watch Nebraska baseball tonight.
I will. It's on MLB TV.
Yeah.
At this point, my relationship with baseball really comes down to how easy it is for me to access said games.
That's actually a huge part of it, isn't it?
Like for most people. If baseball is easy to access, I will watch said baseball. I am not jumping through hoops to watch baseball. I'm not. I will jump through hoops to watch football. Dependent on the team, I will jump through hoops to watch basketball. I'll jump through one hoop to watch hockey, which is ESPN+. After that, we're done. If you're not on TNT and you're not on ESPN+, sorry, Bedsy, can't watch it tonight. Can't watch it. But local baseball begins today. Nebraska baseball in action against UConn. That'll be on MLB TV. Creighton takes on St. Mary's. They're out in California. And Omaha is also on the road, and they're taking on Arizona State. So local baseball flavor beginning today as it's the start of the college baseball season and the road to the College World Series. You are listening to Middays with Matt here on the home of the College World Series. Ping!
Every game.
And we will be at the Omaha Baseball Village in June, which last year, it's funny, today's Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th last year was when the College World Series began.
Whoa.
So that will be a good time. Probably be me and Mike Schaefer at the Omaha Baseball Village, where you will find out which of us chatty Cathys will chat more than the other Cathy. So that should be a good time. We also have some football to hit as well. Trinidad Chambliss got granted eligibility in the most college football way college football could college football in his hometown court with a judge who's been caught with sideline pictures with Ole Miss polos and Chambliss signing autographs in the courtroom, and the judge rambling on for 20 minutes on his decision, basically accosting the NCAA for arguing against Trinidad Chambliss's eligibility. We will talk about that. We will also talk about the fact that do you know who Kyrie Walker is?
No.
Okay, so he's a guy. He's a basketball player.
Okay.
Right, and he was the class of like the high school class of my age, like of 2020. Okay.
Okay.
And like he's 25 years old and he's a formal 4-star prospect and he's a current professional basketball player. He's currently on a visit to Maryland to play college basketball.
Well,
he's 25 years old.
Okay.
He was a 4-star prospect 7 years ago. And he is pursuing college basketball for the Terrapins. He's on a visit. What are we doing?
So he would not play until he is
I don't know the details.
26 years of age,
I don't know the
or
details.
is this like a, hey, right now, tournament that Maryland's not going to?
He decided not to go the college basketball route.
Okay.
Okay. And he's made it clear that he doesn't want to do 4 years of it. Okay. But he's also trying to revamp his basketball career.
Oh, this guy went to Mongolia.
Yes.
Yeah, he
So-
just wants to come home. He just wants a job.
Yes. Is that
I don't want to live in Mongolia
instead
anymore.
of
I get it.
Instead of working at instead of like updating his LinkedIn and working at UPS, Kyrie Walker has decided, you know what? I'll just pick up a local job playing for Maryland Terrapin basketball.
Somebody will see me and I'll turn into something.
No, it's just he wants to pay his rent is what he does, what he wants.
Sure. Wow.
It's not even that. Nobody's going to watch this 25-year-old play college basketball and say, whoa, he's the next big thing. No, he just knows he can get a pretty good buck. It's crazy. So Chambliss is back. We have 25-year-olds taking visits now.
I'm going to say something here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I
say
think
it.
there's too many basketball teams. This wouldn't be a problem if there were just fewer places to play.
Should we just, you know what, Josh? You and I should sit down and write down the teams we should eliminate from college basketball.
Okay.
Number 1, Mercyhurst.
Whoa.
Number 2,
Why number 1?
Gonzaga.
Whoa.
Number 3, Boise State. Number 4, Vanderbilt. Number 5, FAU.
Final Four participant.
I'm just naming all the teams that Northwestern basketball is beating in the NCAA tournament. We marked them off their list. We don't have to do that anymore. We can get rid of the UC. Well, they didn't beat Gonzaga. They should have beaten Gonzaga. They should have beaten UCLA if Brooks Barnheiser didn't shoot 2 for 13. Brooks. Playing for Oklahoma City.
I can tell you're very passionate about what you're saying.
The ABS system in MLB has been officially established. Tap on your head and see whether or not the umpire behind you was competent or incompetent. This is the game we're now going to play. Not a fan. I'm not a fan.
I'm a fan of it because I've seen it work at the AAA level, but for the first 6 weeks of the MLB season, guys are going to get tossed for sarcastically tapping their head.
Dude, the side eye that is going to happen. Also, what is going to happen? Because these umpires, they're emotional. Okay.
They're human.
Some of these umpires are emotional. What happens when it's the 8th challenge of the game? What occurs? God, can we bring back Angel for one game this year?
Just to see.
Angel, we got to test it out. We got to see if this sucker works.
I know you were trying to take us to court, but how about we do one game instead?
We do one game
for all the marbles.
And we pay. Oh my God. We do one game. And if you are under 5 challenges, five confirmed challenges, you win. Wouldn't that be great to settle the lawsuit like that?
Who wouldn't tune in?
Screw litigation, screw discovery, screw people coming to the scan. This is what we're going to do, Angel. Over under is 5.5. 6 successful challenges, you lose the case. You get under, you win, buddy boy.
Prove it.
Prove it. Prove we're racist. But if that went on pay-per-view, I think I would buy it. I think I'd buy 8. I think I'd spend $10 to watch the Angel Hernandez Civil Racism MLB ABS System Challenge.
Sorry, I'm returning an email.
Okay. My bad. What else do we have here? Fred Hoiberg speaks at 11:30.
Fred.
Austin Jacobsen will be here at 12:40. Evan Bland will be here at 1 o'clock. The start of baseball season. Trinidad Chambliss. My goodness. Oh, big win for Omaha men's basketball yesterday. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about Nebraska men's basketball. Talk about Creighton men's basketball. Softball is going ahead and playing today for both Nebraska softball and Omaha softball. Shout out head coach Mike Hurd of Omaha softball. His team has started 4-0 this season. They actually first pitch is in 15 minutes. They're all the way on the West Coast taking on Utah Tech today. Could be a pretty interesting matchup too for Nebraska softball today. One that will get a lot of eyes. Pickens versus Fromm at 11 a.m. on ESPN2. So we will have that on our screens. Also, shout out USA men's hockey. What a win yesterday against Latvia, 5-1. Should have been 7-1. Tage Thompson, goal scorer. Too bad that wasn't the dog of the day, unfortunately. But we got all that and more. And we got a big board.
There it is.
Matt's Daytona 500 big board. Will a lot of winners on here. So we will talk about all that and more here on Middays with Matt on 1620.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
I'm always searching for the I'm always searching for the most perfect double box, Mr. Josh Hodson.
Box.
I was trying to that quote from Penelope Cruz. I'm always searching for the most perfect moisturizer. You ever see that? No.
No.
Okay.
Sorry. Normally, I'm able to play along.
Very uncultured of you.
Yeah,
And not very moist of you either.
that's correct.
Got to be moisturizing. I've been into moisturizing now that I'm older
Okay.
because ashy skin.
You getting results?
Yeah, I mean my
Okay.
skin is smoother.
Good.
Maybe it's Maybelline, is what I tell people. I'm just like, Matt, what have you done different? I was like, maybe I don't know. There's a product I use. Maybe it's it. Maybe it's that. Perfect double box on Sunday, in my opinion. You are going to roll your eyes. You want to tell the people the first sentence you said when you walked in this morning into this studio to other people?
Not sure that's suitable for air.
You go. No, not that. The other thing.
Oh,
No.
no. Remind me.
You go. I miss normal people.
I did. That was the first thing I said when I walked in here. You're right.
And you were referencing me, which, by the way, you've been on a run of making fun of your own host.
I was referencing someone else more than you, but you just happened to be right there too, holding a big board.
I'm making fried chicken for the first time in my life. Homemade fried chicken with oil and a big pot and everything like that and a thermometer. Okay.
Okay.
And the reason why is because NASCAR is happening on Sunday. And we are going to have a double box of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am and NASCAR on at roughly around 1:30 on a Sunday. And that might be one of the most perfect double boxes a man could dream of.
I find the double box to be annoying on my TV.
Whoa!
There's so much unused space on the television. Now, if you got two TV setup, you go one TV, two TV.
Bang.
And call it a double box. That's great.
TV 1 and TV 2 is what we have. TV 1's on the right, TV 2 is on the left. We have a little piece of tape on one of the remotes to establish that this is the TV 2 remote.
Okay, you're taking it seriously. I like that.
See, I either go one thing on each TV or I go one thing on TV 1 and then we get a quad box on TV 2. Because you're right.
I like that.
There is no point of a double or triple box on a big TV.
Mm-hmm.
There's 0 point. It's either you have 1 or you have 4. Because you're right. You're taking up, you're wasting too much space. I'd rather there be like Beat Bobby Flay in the left-hand corner as opposed to a bunch of, black space around my TV.
Absolutely.
Am I really watching Bobby Flay make, bulgogi tacos? No, I'm not. But he's just filling out the space for everybody else. He's a role player, Bobby Flay. That's what they say about him. Bobby Flay, that's a real role player. His daughter, by the way, great broadcaster for ABC over in California. So
really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Very accomplished, very professional, very good at her job. On Good Morning America, Sophie Flay is. Yeah, legit broadcaster.
I did not know any of this.
I would say Nepo baby, but then you watch some of her stuff and you're like, wow, she's incredibly impressive. Impressive broadcaster, Sophie Flay. Some people don't know. Now you do know. Some things that you may not know about college basketball. Hell of a slate.
Oh, I know her.
How do you know her? You met her?
From the TV. I know her from the TV.
That is the most grandpa statement you have ever made. I know her. I know that girl.
From the TV.
From the TV. Is that when you say to Lauren Michelson?
I know her.
I know you. I know
TV.
you from the TV. That's like the progressive becoming your parents' car commercial.
Which I love those commercials.
The progressive insurance commercials of like stop becoming your parents. That is one of them. You don't know that person. You've never met that person. I see her on the TV. You don't know her.
We need to ask Lauren next time. I know it's 2 weeks until she's on the show, and there's no way we'll remember.
Call her right now.
How many times do people come up to you and say, I know you from the TV?
Do you want to call Lauren right now and ask her? That is something we could do. It could be wildly unprofessional. She'd probably be on a shoot right now.
Yeah.
She's probably
busy.
Pretty loaded weekend of college basketball coming up. Tonight, will Miami of Ohio keep it rolling?
Hello.
Will they continue their undefeated streak? They are taking on Ohio tonight. They're 9.5 point favorite in that matchup. Big one, though, in the Big Ten tonight. Number 10, Michigan State. MSU currently right now, according to Bracket Matrix, is a 3 seed. They take on Wisconsin on the road at the Kohl Center. Wisconsin's coming up off of a massive victory against Illinois. They have a chance to Wisconsin has a chance tonight to solidify themselves as an NCAA tournament team. Currently 17-7 overall. They got their signature win last week. If they're able to pick up this win, become 18-7, they would go from being on the 9 line to probably pushing themselves all the way to being closer to a 7 or an 8. And things are kind of getting a little bit tight in that about, I want to say the last 6, which would be about Clemson all the way to about Wisconsin. Things are going to get jumbled there. Okay. Things are going to get a little bit weird, right? Like it'll be interesting to see where St. Louis ends up. It'll be interesting to see where Iowa ends up. It'll be interesting to see where Villanova ends up, where they have a big game against Creighton this Saturday. Where does Auburn end up? You know, Auburn's the last team to beat Florida since January 6th. So it's one of, don't make that face.
I didn't
Josh.
make that. Just
yes, you did.
When I hear
you
that
made
date,
a face.
my face just does that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's the last time Florida lost was January 6th. Or that was Florida has lost once since January 6th.
Impressive run.
They're a wagon. They've been playing great basketball.
Wagon.
They are by far the best team right now in the SEC. They're currently ranked 7th in the net ranking. The next team is Vanderbilt, where we have seen their flaws most definitely, especially through the last about 8 games for Vanderbilt. The SEC has a lot of teams in the top 50 in the net ranking, but they are not as deep of a conference as the Big 12 and the Big 10 this season. That's just a fact. The Big 12 and the Big 10 both have a higher amount of quality teams than the SEC, despite the fact the SEC probably very well could end up getting about 9 to 10 in the NCAA tournament this year, despite the fact that they would be, if I were to rank chances of Power 5 conferences having the national champion, I would probably put the SEC second to last. I would go Big 12, Big 10, ACC, SEC, Big East. And you probably say that the SEC and the Big East is just, do you think UConn will win the national championship, or do you think Florida will win the national championship? I probably would pick Florida over UConn as of right now. I'm weird about UConn. I don't want to say I'm out on UConn.
Oh, interesting.
Because saying you're out on UConn would insinuate that UConn's a bad team, and by no stretch of the imagination are they a bad team. I'm just not in on UConn.
Okay.
Like, I'm in on Illinois.
You are.
I'm in on Houston. I'm very much in on Duke. How can you not be in on Michigan? I think I'm dipping a toe in Iowa State. Like, I got one toe in the pool. Which big game for Iowa State this weekend. They take on Kansas at 12 o'clock on ABC of all places.
Hello.
On ABC, that game will take place. I'm not fully in on the UConn train. I'm in on other trains, though. And a lot of those trains include the Big 12, where we have another massive Big 12 matchup at 5:30 on Sunday. Texas Tech takes on Arizona. Arizona kind of licking their wounds after that loss to Kansas, where, man, talk about a team that's climbing up the rankings. Like I just mentioned, Kansas on the road to Iowa State. If they were able to pick up that win, we're having a conversation of, whoa, is Kansas going to go from being a 5-6 seed to a couple weeks later, with even through all this Darren Peterson drama, potentially being a 2 seed? I mean, we were having a conversation, Josh Otson, about 3 weeks ago of like, is this like Bill Self's last season? Because it seems like this is just a kind of a season.
Seems like his health really creeps up there when the team's not doing so well.
But when the team is thriving,
yeah, interesting.
He puts a Band-Aid on his ear and he gets things done.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Weird matchup, too. Virginia takes on Ohio State for God knows what reason this weekend.
Wait, Virginia takes on Ohio State.
You heard me correctly.
Okay. That's like the Duke.
Yeah, why? See, here's the thing. I understand that. Like Duke and Michigan.
There's 2 powers.
We did that last year with Illinois and Duke. Remember?
That's
that was
right.
a game that happened, and we were like, well, wow, Illinois, that's kind of tough for them. You know, this year, like, all right, Duke and Michigan, like, kind of weird, kind of random, but like, hell yeah, like, you'll take that. You're like, that's fun, that's enjoyable. Why the hell does Virginia need to play Ohio State? Is my question.
Oh, This is a great question you've posed. I wish I had an answer.
Sure. Now, hey, here's another interesting matchup that's going to go on this weekend. Just to keep kind of one eye out there for it. You know, keep all of your other eyes on the good matchups, on the ranked matchups, on the Texas Techs, on the Arizonas. Gonzaga is on the road at Santa Clara. Can you guess to me what the spread of that game is?
The spread of Gonzaga, Santa Clara.
Yes, the spread.
24.5.
Santa Clara is a 3.5-point underdog in that game.
Whoa.
Santa Clara has not lost since January 8th. That game was against Gonzaga. They lost by 12. Currently, Santa Clara right now, 22-5 in college basketball. They have a 1-point loss against St. Louis, which looks like a great loss as St. Louis continues to be a wagon. They have a pretty big game this weekend against Loyola Chicago. Keep on just one eye. Like, don't be like Platt Cat and be a sicko that's going to actually watch this game at 9:30 on ESPN, okay, on the Saturday. But just, you know, keep a pupil on it. That could be, don't be surprised if you wake up Sunday morning, you're like, oh my God, what's happening to Gonzaga? Because Santa Clara is a pretty good basketball team. So we have a very fun weekend of college basketball ahead of us. We're going to enjoy that greatly. Clemson at Duke, UCLA at Michigan. Mick Cronin watching coming. We're due for a Mick Cronin explosion, it seems like, every single week. It seems like that is a pretty good candidate as the Bruins are 16.5-point underdogs on the road in Ann Arbor, along with Kentucky taking on Florida. Kentucky finally ranked once again this season. Mark Pope, his status of every national college basketball writer's favorite article right now to write is, will Mark Pope be back next season? What will Kentucky do? Can somebody else take over that job? How good is that job? Is it pressure? Like, everybody loves writing the think pieces on the Kentucky job. It's just an off year for the Wildcats. But right now they are a 7 seed in the NCAA tournament. That is not great, but they have an opportunity to turn that around with a win against Florida this weekend. Coming up next, we're going to talk more college basketball, but in a local flavor. Let's talk about Creighton men's basketball. Let's talk about Nebraska men's basketball. Hey, let's talk about Omaha men's basketball. What a win for the Mavericks yesterday. That group coming together, things are starting to click for the Mavs. They back-to-back games against the top 3 teams in the Summit League, went 1-2, probably should have gone 2-3. Regardless, though, the Mavs starting to surge at the right time heading into the Summit League tournament. We'll talk about all that and more here on a Midday on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
But there's Matt here on 1620 The Zone. I'm getting nervous.
Oh,
Watching women's skeleton right now in the Olympics.
okay.
This does not look fun. Do you see this? Do you
Yeah,
see
it's
these people just.
if
this
you're
is-
unfamiliar, it's the luge, but on your stomach instead of your back.
This looks scary.
Oh yeah, frightening.
What is? I would love somebody to break down the skill of this. By the way,
You gotta
of like, how do I go faster?
angle the turns, your body. You know, you could turn it to ESPN2 and watch softball. It has started.
Oh, I'm captivated now by row of the Americans. Oh, she just hit the wall.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh Lord. See, this is nerve-wracking. And how is she even controlling this thing?
Careening would be a good word to use.
Careening. Wow.
Yeah.
Josh Hudson. Wow.
Hey.
Okay.
Number one.
Number one. All right. Put it to ESPN. I'll put it to ESPN.
It's just heat too. It's not like the medal round or anything.
I don't know. I just think every round is the medal round until they don't hand out the medals. It's kind of how I take it.
Well, if you perform poorly, it'll
stop you
yeah,
from
yeah.
making the medal rounds. Quarterfinals today for U.S. women's hockey, by the way.
Whoa.
If they don't perform well today, they will not get a medal. Which, by the way, I don't think we're very worried about USA women's hockey at this point.
Not medaling. Yeah.
Winning.
Something
the gold.
terrible would have happened.
I mean, they're just the better team right now. I mean, they got it. I mean, Murphy's looking great. Hillary Knight's playing incredible. Caroline Harvey she's the future of USA women's.
They've
hockey.
cleaned it up. It's a little more to your liking now.
I mean, there was a little bit too much throwing in the slot, but they just went belt to ass against Canada. Really brought the pressure. Thought Taylor Heisey played a really good game too against Canada. So kind of one of those things where they needed somebody to push them, and I was willing to be that person. You're welcome.
Not all heroes wear capes.
You're welcome. You're welcome, USA women's hockey, for pushing you to victory. Somebody has to hold you to a high standard.
Mhm.
And if I got to be the bad guy, if I have to be that person, I'm willing to.
Thank you for your service, Matt McMaster.
You are welcome, Josh Hodson. You are welcome. And I will wait for my thank you letter in the car. We are currently not watching the Nebraska-Tennessee softball game right now because somehow we've now bled into the previous game has bled into the broadcast. How does that happen in softball?
Well, it's 9-7.
Okay,
That's
but how is
pretty-
this a 7-inning sport and yet we're bleeding into things?
now on ESPN?
I'm not going to okay, talking about sports for hoops we would jump through. Softball is not one of them. I am not going to the Roku TV. I am not opening up the ESPN app. I'm not switching over to ESPNU.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm sorry.
That's fine. You have a radio show to do. You should probably focus on that.
Is it not a part of our radio show?
I don't know anymore.
Let's just call a spade a spade. I'm not jumping through hoops for softball.
All right.
Okay. I'll jump through hoops for Nebraska men's basketball. They have a good game this week.
Oh yeah.
They're playing Northwestern.
And that's a good game.
I'm 402-951-1620 is our number, the Prairie Flower Casino hotline. Prairie Flower Casino, play longer, win more. Also, you can email us at the Equitable Bank inbox. Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Old man Doug, pick up on the first ring every single time. Is anyone nervous for this game? Is anyone like a little jittery? Does anyone think maybe this is a trap? Did anyone watch Northwestern push Michigan and have a big lead and think, oh, maybe they can get us? Is anybody kind of nervous that Nebraska basketball has lost their mojo a little bit? Is anybody worried that maybe this team is overachieved in the beginning part of the year and now they're coming back down to earth? Is anybody worried that maybe this team was just hot for an extended period of time and now we're seeing a Nebraska basketball team maybe closer to what we saw what we expected in the preseason? Is anybody thinking that? After losing 3 of your last 4 games and not have winning a home game since January 21st, is that going through anybody's mind?
No, but you're making me think that maybe it should be.
I don't think it should.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying all those things because what I just laid out for you, Josh, right? You just heard all of that. And what did you say? Maybe it should be. Maybe we should be thinking.
A lot of facts you
right?
gave me.
I just gave you a lot of reasons potentially, right? Losers of 3 of their last 4. Maybe they've lost some confidence. They haven't won at home at PBA. Maybe it's not a fortress you would think. Hey, Northwestern, while they don't have a good record, has played up to competition at times. They have a shooting team that is, when they're cold, you're going to beat them by 20, but when they get hot, they can push you. That's kind of how Chris Collins' teams have been over the last couple of years. Like, there could be some of those reasons that maybe you'd be nervous for this game. I'm not, because at this point in the season, if I haven't seen it yet, I'm not going to bank on it happening. There's a reason I told you that I was pretty confident against Purdue. I was pretty confident that Nebraska would beat Purdue because I didn't think Purdue would come out on a 14-1 run. I didn't think that Purdue would jump on Nebraska. I didn't think that Nebraska wouldn't be ready to play. I didn't think that Nebraska would be kind of sleepy in a big game against a very good opponent at home. Why did I not think that would happen? Because we're in February and that didn't occur yet. And I thought we were past the, all right, time for new things chat with Nebraska basketball. You find new things in December. You find new things in January. You don't see a ton of new trends in February. Now, was it maybe naive of me to think that this team was invincible? Sure. Am I a believer, though, that this team is a great team? Yeah. Did I believe it before the Purdue game? I did. Do I still believe it? Yeah. I still think they're a great team. If they lost to Northwestern, would I think they're a great team, Josh Hodson? No.
That'd be silly.
The point being, though, I'm not going to bank on, and I'm not going to get nervous about things happening that haven't happened yet. And one thing that has not occurred this year is Nebraska basketball for a full 40 minutes playing down to a lower level Big Ten team's level. They've done it a couple times in spurts. Like, that game was probably closer than it should have been against Northwestern in the very first half, right? I mean, they did not play up to their kind of standard in the end of that Rutgers game, right? They kind of played down to Rutgers level. But for a full 40 minutes, they kicked the crap out of Washington. They kicked the crap out of Oregon. They kicked the crap out of Rutgers. They kicked the crap out of Northwestern, right? So, they've ended up winning all those games by double digits. And so it's one of those things where, yeah, you could maybe tell me, they haven't seen, they've lost 3 of their last 4. Maybe they've lost some confidence because PBA, they've been able to get God at PBA a couple of times now. Maybe this team is starting to realize that they do have flaws, that maybe being undefeated created this belief of invincibility that raised the level of the team as a whole. The team was so confident because they hadn't lost yet, and they were building that confidence into win after win after win after win. And when they lost for the first time, they lost that invincibility boost, if you will. Maybe that's affected them. You can make these psychological arguments, right? You can make these. I've been watching sport for a long time, and these are trends that maybe you don't see on the stat sheet that occur after certain things happen. You can make some of those arguments to me. The argument I can just make to you is I haven't seen Nebraska basketball play a bad team and decide, hey, we're going to be as good as they are today. Not for a full 40 minutes. So I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous. Maybe they go on to like a 3-minute scoring drought, or maybe Northwestern goes on a run and they cut the lead to 8. I mean, maybe something like that happens. Maybe for 3 minutes of game time, you think, all right, they have to lock in here and play a big game. But over an entire stretch of 40 minutes of basketball, which is what it's going to take for Northwestern to beat Nebraska, no, I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous, and I don't think any of the past results lead me to be nervous. Also, too, this sicko has watched a lot of Northwestern basketball this season.
You would know when to be worried and when not to.
They're not smart.
They go to Northwestern, though, man.
But okay, they're not smart on the basketball court.
Okay.
They are one of the dumbest.
Just clarifying.
Shout out Iowa JD. we haven't gotten too many tweets from Iowa JD since I've been hosting the Middays with Matt show. I love Iowa JD. Think he's a great listener.
Good guy.
He tweeted at me during the Iowa Northwestern game the same thing you just said to me. It's like, Matt, all these guys have 3.5 GPAs. Why aren't they playing smart basketball? And I'm here to tell you that this is Chris Collins. Like, from an athletic standpoint, I haven't seen too many Northwestern basketball teams that are as athletic as this team is. Like, this team is pretty big, and they're pretty fast, and they got some guys that have some like college basketball bodies, which is lacking at times for Nebraska for Northwestern basketball. I mean, it's very rare. Like, I remember, this is a name that people might have forgotten. You remember Vic Law?
No.
People who love Big Ten basketball remember who Vic Law is. Like, Vic Law was like, the fourth best player on their 2016 NCAA tournament team. But it was one of those deals where they were like, oh my God, Vic Law, like, he was so popular amongst Northwestern fans because he was the only guy who looked like you could play professional basketball on that team. Like, Northwestern actually has some of those guys who look the part, but they don't play smart basketball. And if you're not going to play smart basketball, do you know who you're not going to beat? You're not going to beat Nebraska, because for what Nebraska might lack in athleticism, and what they might lack in superstar power, and what they might lack in prospect power, they make up for in smarts and just execution and just, good coaching. And I think that Nebraska basketball has better coaching right now than Northwestern. They got smarter players than Northwestern, and they just got better players than Northwestern. We haven't seen Nebraska basketball play down to the level of a bad team yet this year, and I don't think that's going to happen. Creighton takes on Villanova. Big game for Villanova. They very much are kind of battling to stay in the NCAA tournament. They are a team that they're kind of in a tier of their own in the Big East. They're not at the level of St. John's or UConn, where I think that they could give those teams a run in the Big East tournament or in the regular season, but they're definitely not at the level of Seton Hall or Creighton. They're above those teams. Creighton's best win, where they made a lot of shots, was on the road against Villanova. They'll look to recreate that again. It'll be interesting to see how Villanova attacks Creighton this time as opposed to the last time that they played, considering the fact that there's been a lot of time in between the last two games and the book is kind of out on Creighton. I don't think there's much of a breakdown on this game outside of just, hey, if they shoot the way that they shoot against Villanova, they're going to be competitive. Like, if they make 14 threes, they're going to be competitive. If they move the ball and create and push the ball and create quality shots like they did against DePaul, I think they'll be competitive against almost every team in the Big East. It's just, you haven't done that consistently. And secondly, how's your paint presence? How are you clearing the boards? If their paint presence is as bad as it typically is, it's going to be hard to win games. Plain and simple. Let's talk about Omaha men's basketball. Hell of a win yesterday for Omaha men's basketball to defeat St. Thomas, who was in second place in the Summit League. St. Thomas, one of the favorites heading into Summit League play and the preseason play to not only win the Summit League regular season, but the Summit League tournament. Look, this season has changed mightily for Omaha men's basketball ever since they got Paul Jobet. And I think heading into the season for Omaha men's basketball, you said, okay, like, yeah, they lost J.J. White and yeah, they lost Markel Sutton, but they still have a lot of guys returning. They still have a lot of their points returning. They still have Ja'Shawn Glover. They still have Cam Thomas. They still have Tony Osborne. They still have Stubblefield. They still have dudes who played ball, who was a part of this magical run, who they know the coach, they know the system, they have a great culture. Like, this still is a team that can be very competitive and potentially repeat in the Summit League. And I think one of the issues that they had, in the beginning of the year was the guys that were the third most important, fourth most important, and fifth most important on last year's team didn't step up into being the guys this season, right? Just the dudes you had on the roster, Thomas, Glover, Stubblefield, Osborne, all really good players in their own right, didn't necessarily fill the shoes of Markel, didn't fill the shoes of J.J. White. Well, they got a guy from the transfer portal who started playing in December who has filled those shoes in Paul Jobet. But what was so impressive yesterday about their win, 98-94 over St. Thomas, was It wasn't a Jobé night. It wasn't even a Tony Osborne night. Those two combined for 24 points. It was a Valentino Simon night where he had his career high of 21 points. It was a Grant Stubblefield night. He had 22 points. It was a Jay Sean Glover night who came off the bench and had 22 points. You had a phenomenal defensive performance from Cam Thomas, who is so long and so agile and has a great frame and a really good body and can guard 1 through 4 through the court. Like, that dude does a lot of things on the stat sheet that does not get enough credit for. And so yesterday, it was one of those wins where you kind of, it was more akin to what you saw last year, right? Where Markel Sutton didn't drop 30 points per game every single game. It was Tony Osborne had a hot night tonight. Oh, JJ White had 25 points. Oh, Glover, Lance Waddles came off the bench. He had 21. He made 5 threes against North Dakota State. Like, they had those collective team wins where they would beat the best teams in the conference. And you would say, hey, they have something here. They have something magical brewing, because even when they don't have their superstars playing at a high level, they are a team that makes sense, collectively picks themselves up and wins big games. Yesterday, that was it. That was a great performance. That was a great team win, team performance. It took every guy on that roster to pick up that victory yesterday. It's a great win for the Mavericks against St. Thomas. If you thought the Mavs were dead at the beginning of the season because of the slow start that they went off to, if you thought they were going to go away quietly and not try and repeat as back-to-back Summit League tournament champions, you were mistaken, my friend. You should have killed the Mavericks when they were dead. Should have killed them when they... Sorry, I said that wrong. Should have killed the Mavericks when you had the chance. They're alive now. They're alive. They are alive and well, and they got a shot to win the Summit League tournament. Big game against Denver, who won their contest yesterday. That game is on Sunday, 12 p.m. at Baxter Arena. Also, they'll play Oral Roberts on Tuesday, next Tuesday. Oral Roberts actually picked up their first win yesterday against Kansas City. It was their first win since December 13th.
Whoa.
They went 2 months without winning a game, Oral Roberts did. Finally picked up a victory yesterday against Kansas City. So the tough slate for Omaha men's basketball is over. Played the best 3 teams in the Summit League, came out 1-2. Could have easily have been 2-1. Couldn't, you could ask for better, but it's still a very valiant performance through that tough part of the schedule. Yesterday, too, pretty cool moment. Nick Janowski, former Nebraska Cornhusker, plays on the St. Thomas Tommies. He was visited by his teammates yesterday. I saw Rink Mask at the game. Kel Jacobsen was there. They all greeted Nick before the game. They greeted him after the game. They were there to support their former teammate. Is Nick Janowski the leading candidate for Jamarcus Lawrence of the year? Some people are asking.
We got to do that award.
We do. Who else is up for the Jamarcus Lawrence Player of the Year? Is Wilhelm Breidenbach still kicking around? Is Lat Man still playing basketball? By the way, Nick Janowski averaging 17 points, 5 rebounds this season for St. Thomas. So, a lot of people in and around the program were from a basketball perspective, were a little disappointed when he left the team. I don't know. They did with Jamarcus. They made things work, and Jamarcus came back, and he's a very big part of one of the greatest teams, if not, definitely trending on being the greatest team in Nebraska basketball history. Could it happen with Nick Janowski? Could he be the next Jamarcus Lawrence? His teammates visited him yesterday, so that was pretty cool. We will see.
You always play a little better when you got some friends watching you. Right?
I've always played a little worse when I had friends watching me. Yeah. Or like, if you ever see me on the golf course and you're like, hey, you're playing fast, you can play through, I am shanking that drive. There's not a snowball's chance in hell that if you tell me, hey, you can play through, that I'm going to step up to the plate and stripe one down the middle. That will not happen. Got to hit the range this weekend, though. Tiburon League's coming up, baby. Got the email a couple days ago from Terry.
Whoa, you're in a golf league?
Every Wednesday.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's go.
I'm in a dart league every Tuesday, a golf league every Wednesday.
I remember having a social schedule.
I was about to say.
It's great.
Stibbs goes, Matt buckles under pressure. Sad.
That's what I heard.
1,000,000%.
Oh, okay.
Now, 3 times in my high school career, the Notre Dame College Prep cheerleaders came to a hockey game. Okay. You know where this is going.
Well, it's going one of two ways. I think I have a hunch.
How many goals do you think I scored?
0.
4.
Whoa. Matt McMaster.
Dude, come on. When the dudes are around, who cares? I'm not winking at any of my friends after I score a goal. But
okay, now we know what we need to do.
now, yeah, maybe we should just put a pretty woman in the studio.
Yeah, maybe a couple.
For me to
Yeah.
You're so mean.
Just to ogle.
You're like, you think one would make you better? You think only one would do it? No, you need 8 here to make you a good radio host, kid. That's not true. Josh is only mean because he's tough. Do you know who's also tough?
Bo Pelini.
No. Someone did text me about Bo, though.
We love talking about Bo, don't we, folks?
It's almost like he was the coach 12 years ago. Is there any other team that you talk about the coach 12 years ago?
Wow.
As often?
This is a great question. Gosh, there has to be like a historic program.
12 years ago, the coach of the Bulls was Thibodeau. I don't really think about Tom anymore.
When was Joe Pa the coach of Penn State? They probably were still.
Oh, God. No, we're a little past that.
Yeah.
We're a little past that. I think 14 might have been.
You think Stanford still talks about the Harbaugh days?
Does Stanford really talk about anything?
I mean, I don't know.
If Stanford talks,
yeah.
Then yeah, I think they would.
Okay.
I'm trying to think here. I mean, do people still talk about the Tim Miles days for Nebraska basketball? As fondly as they talk about the Pelini days?
It's a lot less this year.
So 14 was the first year James Franklin was. No, I don't think they talk about the Joe Pa days.
Okay.
At Penn State. Dude, I wouldn't know. It didn't really end the way that they wanted it to, right?
Sure. I'm just trying to think historic coach that like still kind of clamors for
attention. Well, they still talk about Ditka in Chicago.
Like in Tallahassee, are they like, this would have never happened under Bowden?
You still think they're talking about Beamer at Virginia Tech?
Again, the last year, probably not.
Good point.
We got Franklin.
Petrino. Bobby.
Hey, remember that guy wore a neck brace to the press conference?
You know what? Okay, you're ready for this? They still do talk about Bobby Knight over at Indiana.
Whoa. Could you imagine?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
They are still, and
sad.
They will never stop talking about Boeheim over at Syracuse.
Mm.
I don't know why we've talked about Syracuse so much.
So much.
Well, it was one segment. Skip says
that's more than normal.
That's a good point. Alrighty, we're going to spend one segment on Trinidad Chambliss and the MLB ABS system because they go together like peanut butter and jelly, right? Because I don't agree with both of them.
Oh, okay.
I really don't. I'm not a fan. We'll talk about it. But we might have jumped the shark on baseball.
Whoa. Okay. Let me try and talk you off the ledge when we come back.
Okay, but I can't act like I'm a baseball lover. I can't code switch on you.
You can be concerned.
I can act.
Sure.
Some of the best broadcasters are great actors. This is The Herd. No, it's Middays with Matt on 1620.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Rest in peace. The grades that we get from players from the NFLPA. You remember that? We'd always get the grades of who's got the best
Yeah.
locker room and who's got the best recovery and
I was
who has
shocked
the
the
best
Chiefs were a
travel
poverty
and
franchise.
who's got this and who's got that. Well, the NFL owners put in a grievance against that in the NFLPA and basically explained, nope, that's not fair. You can't do that. That does not look good for us. Please don't do that anymore.
Maybe you'd be better, owners.
And they won. We're not.
Interesting.
Yep. Funny how that works. So isn't it crazy when you don't have a true leader in the NFLPA, the things that might happen to you? So the world will not know who has the worst in-flight services this season. Quite unfortunate. Shout out my horse racing people. Big Kentucky Derby race this weekend, a Kentucky Derby prep race. Do you know the Scott Shotson that you have to like get X amount of
You
points?
told
in
me
order
this
to
earlier
compete
this
in the
week.
Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, you have to qualify.
Big one at the fairgrounds. We'll see some pretty good horses. One to keep an eye on. It's currently the favorite to win. That Thing You Do.
Oh,
Pretty good name. What do you think about these names of horses that
Okay.
potentially could race in the Kentucky Derby?
Grunt the Derby
Grunt
horses.
Okay, let's do it. Grunt the Derby horses.
Okay.
You ready?
Impromptu.
Red Hot Catalina. Starship Kit Kat. Queen of Spirits. Marty's Gal. Complicato. E complicato.
It's complicated?
Yeah.
Look at me. I know all the languages. Like no reaction. No grunt.
Okay.
Pass.
Okay. Pass. Oh wow, you're gonna pass. Okay. How about this? How about this one? Queen of All My Dreams.
Oh.
What a simp. Are you thinking?
Oh no, I thought you were calling me a simp.
No. I thought I was waiting for you to
That's
grunt.
the name of a horse.
No.
What a simp.
No, Queen of All My Dreams is what it's called. Okay.
Strong.
That is not the race though. That is a different.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to find.
Hey man, you rattle off anything. I'll grunt it.
How about Saboteur?
Ooh.
How about that?
Ooh.
Okay. Oh,
That's the grunt. That's the
grunt. That's not a grunt. All right, we're learning. All right, this is good. We're working out our grunt. This is good practice of grunt the slate.
Grunts are any noise that isn't a word.
Okay. Louisiana Bargain.
Huh.
I'm trying to look up the actual the actual horses here that are for sure going to run in this race.
You could say anything. Tell me it's a horse, and I'll believe you.
Okay, I have them.
Okay.
I have them. Here we go. Okay. Saturday's Risen Star, G2, Pivotal, Road to the Detector. All right, we have. All right. These are it. Universe. Golden Tempo.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. How about Carson Street?
I would have to know what Carson Street is to make
sure.
a grunt.
This is I think my favorite one. You ready?
Ready.
Paladin.
Oh.
Yeah. Ain't that a good one?
A little mysterious, a little
yeah, but
spacey.
But I like the bang. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So by the way, Golden Tempo is 6th place right now in the Kentucky Derby races. Here's a horse that is a contender. He's in 9th place. Chip Honcho.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Let's go.
How about all right, here's another one. Colt 47.
That's 2 more than 45.
Yeah. All right, last one. Quality Mischief.
Yeah.
Kind of weak.
Oh, really?
Kind of weak.
Okay.
Kind of weak. I will say Paladin though. That's a good horse name. That's a high quality horse name. Is he on? No. The highest point earner in that race in the Risen Star at the fairgrounds he's currently in 6th place. It's Golden Tempo. So that very well could be a horse that runs at the Kentucky Derby, Golden Tempo. So keep your ears out for Golden Tempo. Look, we are 1620 The Zone, and Middays with Matt is your guide and guide to the Kentucky Derby.
Hey, you gotta carve out your spots, right?
Rest in peace to the survey that the NFL allows the players to do to put their owners and teams on blast. Also, rest in peace to fully human umpires. We are now going to the animatronic, if you will, ABS system.
Just the challenge system.
Just the challenge system. But there's
going to be a human back there.
It's a slippery slope. You don't think we'll get full robo umpires eventually? I'm not saying in like 2 years.
I mean,
saying eventually it could happen.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about it. It's probably more efficient for the game that we do it that way. And it definitely does weed out the whole bad call thing and players complaining. And it doesn't, I've seen it at minor league games, and it doesn't really take that long either.
No.
It's a quick system.
It's
it doesn't
just like
delay
tennis.
the game.
Yep. Just
I like from a, and this is where you got to talk to me here. Like, from a logistics standpoint, an efficiency standpoint, and from a rule standpoint, it makes sense. It's probably best for the game that it's there. It's just a lot now. We've just changed a lot. We've changed a lot about the game.
Okay. That's a fair take.
It's just a lot. Like, it's just a very, very, very different game now.
A sport that didn't change for 150 years has changed a lot in the last 10 or so.
We've done a whole 360.
Sure.
On the sport. Like, the sport is completely different, and this is a massive change.
Ty Cobb is rolling in his racist grave right now.
There's a reason why we did the Ghost of Ben Hogan. And Josh and I made a list of former athletes that we could have done the Ghost of. Ty Cobb was not on the list.
No.
I don't know. I think it's from a gameplay perspective and from efficiencies perspective and from we make rules to make sure that the most fair outcome occurs, right? Like,
we do.
That's the point of rules. The point of rules is to make sure and trying to enable that the best team that day won, right? We try and weed out the unfair advantages that could allow worse teams or less skilled teams or teams that don't deserve to win, right? And so this is one of those instances where you don't want a team to lose a game because of a bad call, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's happened a ton in baseball's history, right? We've seen it. I mean, John Boy Media literally created an empire of baseball media because of it. I mean, literally, one of the more influential people in our media space in baseball created his company off of the mistakes of umpires and the mistakes of officiating the rules. And so it's been a problem in the game and a part of the game for a long time. It's just my argument is this very old man yelling at the clouds.
Okay.
It's just a lot all at once. And but at the same time, if you're going to do one of them, you might as well do the whole 9 yards. Like, if you were going to change one of the rules and say, hey, we're going to have a pitch clock, and hey, you can only, throw to first base twice, and hey, we're going to do if you were going to do one of them, if you're going to do it all the way.
Should have done it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm not saying should have done it then. I'm more so saying if you were going to change one of the rules of baseball that completely changes the fabric of the game, just change all of them at that point. Just go the whole 9 yards. And this is now the whole 9 yards. The next step would be no humans back there at all, which no, thank you. No, thank you.
I feel like you'd have like there's an umpires union. I feel like you'd have a pretty bad union if you got yourselves eliminated.
No, I know.
I don't put it past the umpires though.
And it's one of those things where it probably won't happen. Probably won't happen. And it's not the crux of my argument. The crux of my argument is I'm just an old man and I'm just kind of like, this is a lot.
I do have one ultra specific concern.
Okay, give it to me.
I have not read the specifics of how it will be implemented. I do worry that if the final game of the World Series is like it's a 2-2 count, it's a called strike 3. The they make their big call for, and the World Series is over. The Chicago Cubs win another one. The guy taps on his head.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I'm such a POS and I'm such a cynic. I kind of want that to happen.
You want the World Series to end on a video challenge, ABS?
Not the World Series to end, but if you're telling me that if the St. Louis Cardinals thought they threw strike 3 to win the World Series and they all were celebrating in the middle of the field.
You do not have to worry about that this year. I don't know if you've been following.
Oh, no, I haven't. But like I told you, I open up the rosters at spring training. But if you were to tell me...
Spoiler alert, the Cardinals are a AAA team now.
If you were to tell me that for a split second that all of St. Louis thought they won the World Series and they were all going crazy about it, and then standing in that box, Kerry Carpenter, the Detroit Tigers, just tapped his head a couple of times, and they had to bring everybody back into the box and back onto the field, and the fans had to realize they didn't win the World Series, and then Kerry cranked a 2-run home run to walk it off, or take the lead for the Tigers. You telling me if that happened, I wouldn't enjoy it? You bet your ass I'd enjoy it. I'd enjoy it so much. Now, if it happens to the Cubs, it would be the worst thing.
Right. It'd be really bad.
Stibbs writes in.
Hi, Stibbs.
My dad's dream is to own a racehorse and name it Cure for Herpes.
Oh. And Cure for Herpes is coming down.
Oh, email us and text us your favorite /funny racehorse name. If you were to own a racehorse, what would you name that racehorse? Mine is Done For Me.
Here's Done For Me?
No.
Done For Me down the stretch?
Done For Me actually would be, don't you think that's a pretty good horse race name? And here comes Done For Me! Done For Me!
I Googled funniest horse names.
I'll have another.
That is on here. Our friend in the YouTube chat, Hoof Hearted. Harry Trotter.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good one.
Odor in the Court. Oh no, it's my mother-in-law. Nacho Business.
Yeah.
And finally, Farty Pants.
Wasn't there a horse that was like Stay Thirsty, my friends? I'm pretty sure
that would be a good one.
I think the greatest horse racing name ever is Mind That Bird. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't really convey anything.
It just hits like a horse. Though,
it does. It hits like a horse. The official horse racing show of 1620 Zone, Middays with Matt. We'll go ahead and talk about a little baseball. Little bit more college baseball here, as we will be joined by Evan. No.
Okay.
By Evan Bland at 1:00. Brian Christopherson will join us at 12, and Austin Jacobsen will join us at 12:40. All here on Middays with Matt on 1620.
UCLA versus Coastal Carolina.
UCLA.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Some Nebraska basketball news here. Nebraska basketball getting a little bit of a international flavor, if you will, for the class of 2026, hosting some international players. So they got a Brazilian forward, Matheus Alessandro Vasquez, in for the Illinois game. They're going to bring in Swiss wing this weekend, Clark Luca Reithauser. I pride myself, by the way, on my ability to say international last name.
I don't know if you were right or wrong. It sounded great.
Matheus Alessandro Vasquez.
Mm-hmm.
And Clark Luca Reithauser. That's a nice one. So basically, it was a great job here on the Tunnel Talk from Husker Online and Mr. Robin Walshett, who basically said, Luca Vergilo, who is the GM and lead international recruiter for Nebraska basketball, has been in on this from the beginning. And this is one of those things where, like, this is a player that in the past, some people would be like, really? Nebraska was able to get him to campus? Like, Nebraska was able to get this guy, like, to look at the team. But this is a result of a couple of things. A good coaching staff with Fred Hoiberg and Ernie Ziegler and Nate Lenzner. It's a result of having a general manager who has a lot of connections when it comes to internationally recruiting players and getting some international prospects. And it's also a result of winning. Isn't that a crazy concept? That if you win, people will want to play for you?
I don't know, man.
Isn't that wild?
I thought it was just money and facilities.
Isn't that wild to think about? That, yeah, it's not just like how much you could pay a guy and the fact that you have a hot tub. Which it'd be funny if they ended up getting Vasquez and Reithauser. It would be a 4-person recruiting class for Nebraska, which 4 guys in from high school is a lot nowadays in this kind of modern age of college basketball.
Yeah.
You're bringing 4 dudes, unless you're bringing in, Knipple and Flag and Mellenwalk, like, unless you're, Duke, and you got to get a brand new team. Not that common, but be pretty big for Nebraska if they were able to get one or both of those international prospects. They already got a pretty decent recruiting class in the 2 guys that you have with Colin Rice and Jacob Lanier. So good for Nebraska basketball. Great reporting from Robin Walshett, who also reports too. It's going to be a big alumni weekend honoring the 30th anniversary of the 1995-96 NIT championship team, where every member of that squad should be in attendance. Unfortunately, Ty Lue will not be able to make it, but the rest of the team will be there. Robin's reporting Nebraska will honor around an event record 75 former Huskers players and staff. So be a big alumni weekend for Nebraska basketball. Also, will be an alumni weekend for Creighton basketball. They just announced on their Twitter, Baylor Shireman and Ryan Kalkbrenner both back this weekend.
Oh, sure.
For Alumni Day against Villanova. So you will be able to see 2 of the more recent greats of Creighton men's basketball, Baylor Shireman and Ryan Kalkbrenner, at the Chi tomorrow in a big game for Creighton men's basketball, trying to get back on track and maybe build a little bit of momentum heading into a Big East tournament that they're almost certainly going to need to win if they're going to make it to the NCAA tournament. That is big tomorrow.
You can see me there tomorrow as well.
You're going to be there? You're going to the game? Why will you be there?
I will be there helping out our friends from Philadelphia in the Villanova radio broadcast.
Wow, very nice of you.
Mm-hmm.
Good Samaritan.
That's
Josh
right.
Odds.
That's right.
By the way, our friend John Walker, now that we bring up some Nebraska recruiting news, right? Bringing in Reithauser, Clark Luca Reithauser for a visit this weekend. John Walker is reporting Creighton is a finalist for 2026 4-star center Cody Peck, the number 2 player in North Carolina, per his Instagram.
A center, you say?
He's become a priority target for the Jays. I wonder why. I wonder why they might be a priority target at the center position. By the way, I hate IG.
In Instagram?
Yeah, no, I hate the acronym IG.
Oh, okay.
It just, I don't know. Gives me the, like, I feel dirty. It just, it's a little like too hip. I don't know. I see it and I don't like it. Old man take? Probably.
I can see where you're coming from.
We have some text in the text line here.
Some text.
Mailman John writes in.
Mailman John, thank you for all you do.
Always wanted a horse named the Hung One. Bill writes in.
Hi, Bill.
Don't want to be glue. That's low hanging fruit. By the way, I love that Bill. Do you know this already?
I don't know anything.
Bill texts in, and then at the end of every text, Bill writes Bill. Like he puts his name.
Oh, like he signs it.
He signs it. But we know that it's Bill already. We already have.
We got the we have the ability to enter the contact in.
Yeah, and he just every time he goes, listening to this bit, you guys are the most moronically funny idiots today. Well done, Bill. That wasn't about us.
Yeah, that was definitely something we were trying to do, and not just us being moronic idiots.
No, we were just being moronic idiots.
Oh, okay.
The 402 writes in.
Hi, 402. Sorry.
Josh, you know where to come tomorrow. I don't know what that means. Do you know where to go tomorrow?
I do know where to go, like for work and stuff tomorrow. I appreciate the audience being concerned about that, though.
Placat writes in.
Hi, Placat.
My hog. It's funny. I don't know. McFaster is probably.
If you had a horse, you would name it McFaster.
How could I not?
I don't know that everybody would get the joke there because.
Oh, come on. Owner Matt McMaster.
I mean, there's really only one horse racing owner I know.
Bob Baffert.
Yeah, and it's the guy who shouldn't be allowed to be there anymore.
But you know more than that.
Do I?
Well, he's not an owner, Bob Baffert.
He's not?
He's a trainer.
That guy does not train horses. I understand that may be his title, but I don't see him getting out in the muck and mixing it up with the guys.
Yeah, he's a trainer. You worried me for a second. I was Baffert.
He's the money man.
Now it's a every horse. If you're an owner and Bob Baffert is your trainer, you are now. Can I say the C word?
What?
The C word we said with Austin Jacobsen.
Oh, that C word. Yeah, I'll let you say it one time.
If you are an owner and Bob Baffert is your trainer, you now are a cuck trainer.
Mm-hmm.
That horse is no longer your horse.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not your horse anymore.
Yeah.
That's Baffert's horse. That's a Bob Baffert horse.
Yeah.
You give up the rights.
That's the guy
that
NBC is showing on TV.
They're not showing you.
Mm-hmm.
You are not the owner anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You do that is not your property. That's Bob Baffert's property now. And they will show him with his white hair, slicked back, with the glasses and the beautiful suit he has on, walking around like he owns the, Churchill Downs. Ain't your horse anymore. That's Baffert's horse. Now, if your trainer was Bill Lott, or Todd Pletcher, probably still your horse.
I'm worried about how many horse trainers you know.
Why are you worried?
Just, I want you to have some money after this career of yours is over.
John writes in.
Hi, John.
I may be sued, but I would name my horse Outback. If you know, you know. I guess I don't know. 402 writes in again.
402.
220. I guess he wants you to come to section 220.
Oh, the 220 boys.
Oh, okay. There we go. Asian Joe writes in.
Hi, Asian Joe.
Horse name idea for Matt. 40 first dates.
Oh.
Not bad.
We'll get you there.
To 40 first dates?
Yeah.
I don't want that many first dates.
You wanted to marry your high school sweetheart, didn't you?
Josh.
You just didn't have one.
Josh, stop it.
Yeah.
Right now.
Well, I guess I'm sorry. You went to an all-boys school.
Stop it.
I'm sorry.
What are you doing? You're supposed to be my teammate.
That one's on me. I point the thumb, guys.
Coming up next, someone who never points fingers, only points thumbs. It's Brian Christopherson here on 1620 The Horse.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, Omaha men's basketball had a big win yesterday against St. Thomas. They are now firmly still in fourth place in the Summit League standings after playing the top three teams back to back, going 1-2 in that stretch. But a big win yesterday over the Tommies. Hey, they're playing on Sunday, February 15th at 12 p.m. We are going to be giving tickets away for you to go and see that game against Denver between the Pioneers and the Mavericks. We will be giving away those tickets in between 1:15 and 1:30. So in between 1:15 and 1:30 of today's show, we will be giving away Omaha Mavericks tickets and be sending you to that game February 15th, Sunday at 12 p.m. against the Denver Pioneers. Very few things are better than going to a basketball game, but one thing that is always better than going to a basketball game is talking to our friend Brian Christopherson of 247 Sports. BC, how are you?
That's completely untrue. Think about what you just said. Talking to Brian Christopherson is better than going to a basketball game. People should be careful with their words like that, Matt.
It's only a 15-minute conversation, and as opposed to a 2-hour and 30-minute basketball game in which I might have to spend a lot of money to go to. I feel like the pros and cons and efficiency metrics might point to talking to you being the more cost-effective decision here, Brian Christopherson.
Okay, I'll take that point.
Okay, there you go. Not because you're
follow
entertaining or smart or anything like that, just because it takes less time and I spend less money when I talk to you.
Also, because my mother once told me, just take the compliment and move on. And
sure,
so, that's what I should have done there.
Well, you know who has been taking the compliment and moving in the right direction? It's Nebraska basketball, 21-3 on the season. 7 games left. They're basically done playing the top heap of the Big Ten at this point. But 7 games, still plenty of work to do. Still plenty of opportunities to raise that resume. You got 2 games against Iowa. You got to go on the West Coast. You have 3 opportunities really against the bottom of the Big Ten to go ahead and bolster that resume and bolster that record. Granted, Maryland has come away with some sneaky wins over Minnesota and Iowa as of late, so maybe that's not as a guarantee of a win as it might have been a couple of weeks ago. But what is the floor and what is the ceiling for this Nebraska men's basketball team with 7 games to go in the regular season?
I'd say the floor would be like 4-3, and the ceiling would be 7-0. I mean, I think it's possible that they could get on a heater, and if they play their best basketball, they can beat anybody that's left on that schedule. But I think the last few days they had to spend it sort of looking at not how they finished that game against Purdue, because that was sort of an outlier. The fact that you were able to rally from basically 14 down in 2.5 minutes, it's just not going to happen. Like, one out of 500 times maybe. So I think you have to look at like, okay, what got us into that in the first 38 minutes of that game. And, one of the biggest things, and tomorrow it's not going to be the same test, but Nebraska's got to hit first on the glass and lock down their defensive possessions after they get the initial stop. So I think Northwestern basketball probably as well as anybody in this area.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true. And
probably.
It's not like the most amazing compliment a guy could get, but that's all right too.
Thank you, Brian.
But I think the fact that they played Michigan like they did, where they were up 16 in the second half. 16
with 14 to go, 14 with 11 to go, but who's keeping count?
And also, Martinelli wasn't like on fire. He was 5 of 22 or something like that from the field. So, yeah, he did. And so I think that said, Nebraska looks at Northwestern and say, I think they're making improvement in maybe some areas beyond Martinelli than the first time they saw him. So you got to be alert in this league that you can't take it for granted that you're just going to hold serve tomorrow. Nebraska needs to come out before that first media timeout and establish we're getting the 50-50 balls today, and this is going to be a different sort of game than the last one here.
Yeah. You're probably right. Like, I don't think Northwestern's a good basketball team, so I'm not fully worried about that. Like I just don't think they're very smart. Now, like they got guys who can get hot. Reed can get hot. Jake West can get hot. Page, has a really good body. So does Singleton. But is it kind of encouraging to you at this point of the season? Like, how much does it speak to how good they are as a team that we really haven't had an instant yet this year where they've played down to a competition for an extended period of time?
Yeah, that's been one of the best qualities of Fred Hoiberg's program, honestly, in the last 3 to 4 years, because people will remember like his first few years, and even before that, it happened with some Tim Miles teams where Nebraska would drop that, just eyesore game, like usually a non-con.
Yeah.
And it would always, like, if you were some of those teams never had to worry about being on a TV graphic as having like a postseason resume. But if you were, like, you hate to have that game against, you lost this directional school, like sitting up there. And this school or this program the last few years, I think, has done a great job of just taking care of business. And that's why when I talk about like Northwestern and I think you'd say Penn State, Maryland left on the schedule, those are probably the 3 examples still left where you're like, all right, don't allow that blemish to work its way into the conversation for the selection committee. And so I think sometimes, I don't know how the guys inside the walls feel, but I actually get the most high strung for the team about like those sort of games where, like, if you lose a quad 1 game, it doesn't ding you that much, but these are the games that can hurt you a seed line and stuff. So you always have to, I think, go into the game like there's everything to go out there and get done, and just not assume we're going to handle business. I agree with you. I don't think Northwestern has what it takes to beat Nebraska. But of the 3 teams I mentioned that are sort of at the bottom, I think they would have the best chance to pull an upset. And I say that because I respect Martinelli, just like that he could go off or something.
The one thing with Nick is that Nebraska kind of plays the type of defense that can shut off the things that he does the best. Like I sometimes get worried of like, how would Nebraska do against a guy like who is that dude for Oakland? Who beat Kentucky single-handedly? I forgot his name.
Oh yeah,
Golke. Like a guy like that who's just running around and like coming off of screens and just launching up shots. Like that worries me. But a guy like Martinelli, who's really just kind of floaters and hook shots and getting to the paint, like you have physical enough guys when they make first contact, like Berkay and Rink, who I think are pretty who could play well against. I mean, Nick did not have a good game against Nebraska the first time that he played, but I do think as a whole, you're correct. Like as an entirety of a team, this Northwestern team more dangerous than Maryland and Penn State is. Let's talk about Nebraska football. I had an interesting conversation with somebody yesterday, and I want to float it by you. This prompt maybe. You go ahead and you look at Nebraska football's 2023 recruiting class. If it's not good, it's not fun, right? Malachi Coleman, he was the top guy. He's transferred. Prince Woluman-Mielen, top guy. He transferred. Cam Lenhart and Riley Van Poppel are your 2 guys in the top 5 who are still here, but their 4th dude, Jaden Doss, he since has left. And then you kind of go through the entirety of the list of people they brought in the 2023 class. It's chock full of guys who either never really contributed anything or no longer on the team. And probably the best one out of everybody outside of the top 5 is Gunnar Gatula. But outside of that, there are a lot of players who either transferred or just never really contributed. Do you look at that 2023 class and think, yeah, they brought in 35 dudes and they missed out on a lot of them, but I give them a little bit of leeway because of they came in, they weren't coming from college, it was kind of rushed. They had to rely a ton on measurables and track times and speed and not necessarily on having a cachet and a big board and a list of prospects and tape and stuff like that. Do you look at a 2023 class and look at the situation they were in coming from the NFL to college and say, man, maybe I give them a pass for failing on that recruiting class?
I give them some grace on it because it is a difficult, probably class to put together in a short time frame. You don't have the relationships either.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest things now, and I'm not saying the guys who left don't have this, like there's so many, you can't like put them all to one basket, But like the biggest deal to me, it seems anymore, is you got to get to know guys for like a year and a half, 2 years, like recruiting or whatever, to understand, like, does this guy like sort of eat, breathe, and sleep football? You know, like, is he that type of dude who's going to just want to be in the film room, who he really loves the game? And if you don't have enough time with guys, you can't always tell that, because everybody like in that batch was going to probably dominate or stand out, like with their track times or whatever their trades compared to their peers at that previous level. But the separator when you get to college is like, who really like just, they really love this game so much. They want to be up there all the time in the building, and they want to be out there and do that sort of stuff. And so that's where I give some, I guess, leeway to them, because you don't have just the hours spent and maybe the relationship built to know that. But nonetheless, it is a rough class when you look at it.
It is tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
You named him off, and you know, Gatula's a guy who could have some really quality snaps, and obviously Van Poppel, Jeremiah Charles is still here, but you know, he hasn't been like a starter or anything. So I mean, you're down to like 3 to 5 guys, quite frankly. And the portal guys, it wasn't like a dynamic portal crew either.
No,
if you look at it.
What was it, like Chief Borders and Billy Kemp and Marcus?
Yeah,
tough.
Yeah, you're getting it right.
And Josh Fleeks was in there, and
like Jeff Sims was on it. Ben Scott.
Yeah, that was fine.
Played, obviously, he did all right.
Do you remember Jacob Hood? You remember Jacob Hood?
Yep, I sure do. I'm looking at his face right now. He was in there, and Arik Gilbert. You know, Tyler Kanak, he's still around.
He is.
But,
he came from Utah. I forget Kanak came from Utah.
Yeah.
You think he's like a guy that they got from high school, because he feels like he's been around for forever. So good call. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But I think I'm leaning more towards what you said, giving them grace, as I am hammering them for their failures, because I just think as you put things into more perspective, and also too, you look at like other situations that other new head coaches have, like Signetti or Eric Morris going from North Texas to Oklahoma State. Like, they've been in the game and are coming from colleges where they're right away able to just kind of bring in guys that they like and bring in guys that they know. They didn't have that luxury, which I think is, you know, kind of the risk you take when you hire a guy from the NFL, especially in this day and age of football, with how important recruiting is in transfer portals.
But with that topic, Matt, I mean, what you're hoping for, it's at a lower level, but with like Rob Orich, you know, coming in as the DC, I think there's maybe another guy or two from San Diego State that people are hopeful Nebraska might get.
Yeah.
But still, you've got Owen Chambliss at linebacker, and you've got Dwayne McDougal, who's I think it's going to, you know, be one of the starting safeties and sort of a mentor. You need those guys to like be that advantage that you're sort of speaking of guys who come from another college where the coach already knows them, knows what they can do. And maybe on the O-line, you'll see a little bit of that, like Lonnie Teasley, the run game coordinator, knew Tree Babalade, and you know, he could be your right tackle. So they need those 3 or whatever to hit that, where you have that relationship banked from the past of your new coaches. And that was something obviously Nebraska staff didn't have going for it in Rule's first year coming from the pros.
I think before all the guys you just mentioned, the only ones that you could point to were Stephon Thompson, Hardly Gilmore, and Dane Key. Those were the dudes that you could point to that came from other programs because of their coaches. So yeah, I mean, I guess there's a double-edged sword of like, you're glad that they were able to bring those guys, but at the same time, Brian, you probably don't want to keep firing coaches and bringing in new coaches, right? For them to bring in new players. So there's the double-edged sword of that all.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, you want to now get some stability. We're talking about some guys at certain position groups. You think about, like, you know, the secondary. If you're like in your 4th year in this program, you've seen 4 or 5 coaches. And so, you know, the safeties just saw 2 coaches in the span of 2 to 3 weeks, basically. I don't even know if they got to know the other guy, but that's something that we are in a different day and age. Like, I grew up in that era where Nebraska had like assistants for, you know, 2 decades together. That was an outlier even in that time. So no one's asking for that, but they do need some consistency now where you get that run where you have like a staff mostly in place, except for maybe one stray guy or something for like 3 to 4 years, and you see what that can do.
Brian Christopherson of Huskers 247 joins us every single Friday, typically at our 11:30 mark, but you had to go to a Fred Hoiberg conference. Excited to read that story and all the little tidbits that you picked up before their game against Northwestern BC. Thanks for joining us as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Matt.
Talk to you later, Brian. Brian Christopherson of Huskers 247 coming up next. Talk a little Trinidad Chambliss and college football, just college football here on Middays with Matt.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
All right, so Trinidad Chambliss is going to play college football next season. Not official, pending an NCAA appeal of a court ruling from the incredibly honorable Mr. Robert Whitewell.
Oh, good. I'm glad he's honorable.
Yeah, a very
Or else why
honorable.
would you have said it like that?
A very honorable judge in
Good.
Lafayette. I think it's Fayetteville, Mississippi, a very small town in Chancery Court. Mr. Robert Q. Whitewell granted quarterback Trinidad Chambliss an extra year of eligibility. He went on a 90-minute rant that included a preamble and decision where he basically shamed the NCAA for acting in bad faith and not allowing Trinidad Chambliss to be granted an additional year of eligibility. Why would Trinidad Chambliss be granted an extra year of eligibility, might you ask? Well,
because Joe Judge got on the stand and just told it like it is.
So Chambliss was at Division II Ferris State a couple of seasons. This was back in 2022. And he didn't play that season. And he was the documents that were submitted by Chambliss's camp referred to what Chambliss was dealing as with a recurrent throat infection, poor sleep quality, daytime fatigue, and exercise-related discomfort.
What?
This is what he was dealing with in 2022.
Exercise-related discomfort?
Yes. The guy was pulling his muscles in the gym. He had a sore throat and wasn't getting enough sleep. So Chambliss's camp said, we want a retroactive medical red shirt because our client had tonsillitis and could not play.
Well, yeah.
Chambliss then claimed that the head coach of Ferris State at the time told him he would give him a medical red shirt, but never did. And, the very honorable Mr. Robert Q. Whitewell. Just, you want to guess where he went to school? Mr. Josh Hodson? You want to guess? You want to guess where?
There's one of two places
where one of his degrees comes from, Mr. Josh Hodson?
I'm just gonna guess the University of Mississippi.
You would be correct.
Nailed it.
Yes, a university, an Ole Miss alum, granted another year of eligibility for the Ole Miss quarterback. Do you know what's even better?
Joe Judge's testimony?
No, Chambliss was signing a box of tissues and memorabilia and signed somebody's tie on his way out of court.
How do you sign a tie?
He was signing autographs on his way out of the court, which, by the way, the NCAA lawyers left before the verdict was read because they were like, this is ridiculous. Why do we have to be here and get lambasted over our clearly non-biased decision to not give this guy a retroactive red shirt because his throat hurt back 4 years ago? Why do we have to sit here and get absolutely toasted? So they were held in contempt of court.
Whoa, Matt.
They held him in contempt of court. At this is a tweet. 4:17 p.m. NCAA lawyers have left before the verdict is read. Judge will hold defense in contempt. So this is crazy. We have
what a circus.
We have a quarterback who appealed to the NCAA. Hey, I retroactively want a red shirt because I have medical documents that said I had an illness. Okay, he was sick.
I got sick for a couple weeks
Which,
during
by the way,
season.
The NCAA provided to the court the fact that those same doctors in August then were like, yeah, he's getting better. He's improving. His sickness is going away.
Oh, it wasn't terminal?
No, he didn't terminally have tonsillitis.
Okay.
And so he appealed to the NCAA. They told him, no, we're not going to retroactively give you a red shirt. They then took this matter to court where, it just happened to be in Mississippi, and the court happened to be presided over. The case happened to be presided over an Ole Miss judge, And that judge just happened to say, you know what, NCAA, you did not act in good faith to the university, to Ole Miss. You did not act good faith. We are going to give Chambliss a year of eligibility. Because this is the thing. We've seen a lot of we've seen a lot of the prosecution sue for like antitrust laws. This actually this case was about the NCAA upholding their agreement to act in good faith toward its members. And so essentially,
they said he could play, and then they said, no, you can't play.
No. So this isn't an antitrust lawsuit, which we've seen a lot of. This is a lawsuit saying that Chambliss's camp is saying you got to act in good faith to Ole Miss, and it's not in good faith that this kid was clearly sick and was promised a medical red shirt by his coach and wasn't given it. You must give him a retroactive medical red shirt, in which the NCAA was like, guys, this is not the precedent of what a medical red shirt is. A medical red shirt is not, I was sick and had tonsillitis. Medical red shirt is but my knee is falling off of my leg. Or, I broke my shoulder.
I need a red shirt.
Cough for a red shirt.
Red shirt me.
We should make the Mississippi Skate fans should say cough for a red shirt t-shirt. So that's where we're at.
Hey, look, I need a red shirt because I got this girl pregnant, and my coach said that I don't have to do anything. So I'll take a medical red shirt, please.
Incredible stuff.
Just means more down there.
We'll see what happens. It's not for sure that he's going to play. They could appeal it and figure it out, but it's ridiculous.
To the Supreme Court.
Apparently, we can give retroactive 4-year medical red shirts to what Charles in the chat describes as sprained lungs. This is crazy, man. It's just what's that graphic? What happened to the sport I love?
What did happen to the sport I love?
We'll find out with Austin Jacobsen. Coming up next here on Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Great day of great weekend, really, of local sports. Right now, Nebraska down in softball 4-1 in the bottom of the sixth inning. Carlin Pickens dealing right now for Tennessee, much like she did in the College World Series against Nebraska.
Skir's got one hit.
One hit all game. Jordy Fromm, formerly known as the artist Jordy Ball, kind of got in that, what was it, the fifth inning where she gave up 4 runs. Tennessee kind of turned the floodgates on as Pickens, who is, what an athlete. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, how fast she throws the ball. I mean, especially, remember they did last year, the College World Series, how much reaction time that you have and how fast she throws the ball. It was like trying to hit like a 100-mile-an-hour baseball, but it's, a 76-mile-an-hour softball or whatever the hell she's throwing. So she's quite the talent, that Carlin Pickens, as Nebraska is down 3 runs right now. Currently, the lead is 7-2 against Utah Tech for Omaha softball, looking to extend their winning streak to 5 here, as we are joined by Austin Jacobsen of Herd at Sports. Hi, how are you? I can't hear you.
Can't hear him.
I can't hear you.
Why?
Plug in your microphone.
Why can't I hear him?
Your microphone isn't on, Austin. He's trying to say that his microphone's on. What a silly boy.
Not muted.
He's not muted.
Why? No, now it's muted.
Now it is muted. Now it's unmuted. This is the best interview ever, says J-Man.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
This is totally fine. I'll just keep talking about Nebraska softball and Omaha softball until Austin can figure out how his bum microphone can sound onto the radio. Also, too, baseball starts this weekend. Husker baseball will be in action tonight against UConn. That'll be on MLB TV. Omaha baseball begins their series against Arizona State today, as well as Creighton baseball on the road against California. Shout out Omaha men's basketball, by the way. Big win yesterday against the St. Thomas Tommies. Valentino Simon with 21 points yesterday, along with Jay-Sean Glover having 22 points, and Grant Stubblefield having his career high of 22 points, as well as the Omaha Mavericks are starting to pick up a little momentum heading into the Summit League tournament. Austin Jacobsen, are you there now?
I think we're good. Do you hear me?
Okay.
Thank God. Thank God. Crisis averted.
I want to talk to you. I want to have a conversation with you. You're my friend.
I enjoy talking to you too. I enjoy program planning. I enjoy, future problems. Those are my favorite things to talk with you about.
Thank you for moving your spot. Thank you for giving up your 1 o'clock spot so we could have a baseball guest on today. It was very valiant of you, very, very admirable for you. If you were Sean McDermott, very admirable of you to do that. So thank you so much. You are now renewed.
Well, good. And I see the chat, much like Sean McDermott, I too am not canceled yet. So, I can still make a couple of jokes here and there. I think we should be fine.
What did Sean McDermott get canceled for? Is he almost canceled?
He made 9/11 jokes. Do you not recall?
No, I don't. Is this bad?
Yeah, he's the Chance Oliver of the NFL.
Very good point. Great point.
Bills coach Sean McDermott apologizes for citing 9/11. Whoa, I didn't see this. I guess I was on break during this. Yeah. As an oh my God. Wait, he used the 9/11 terrorist attack as an example of good teamwork?
Yeah, I mean, there's no better rallying cry than one of America's worst tragedies.
Yes, absolutely. Jeez. Okay. I didn't know that. Good for you not being canceled. I thought you were going to make a Joe Judge joke.
No, that was weird too. That was very odd.
There's just a lot of weird things happening in football, if we're being honest. Like, what is normal in football nowadays? We had a football player of BYU show off that he's engaged to his girlfriend, and then he was arrested like 4 days later. And it's
there's
case, by the way.
Yeah, football is getting a little bit weird. But I mean, that's nothing new, right? Like the James Pierce stuff is like horrifying, all that stuff that's going on. There's always something that's like, this is the time of the year when dudes just get bored and then terrible things are going on. But we just need to get back to spring practice. That's why Rule moved everything up, because we got to get back to football. That's what keeps this country sane.
he doesn't want Nebraska to turn into Georgia, so he'll go ahead and he'll move up spring ball for that to occur.
As we should, we don't need any more was it Eric Gilbert? We don't need any of those guys running around.
Wow, good job.
Yeah,
it's been a while since we've had a scandal of Nebraska football.
You're actually completely right. That is one thing that I remember after Bo was fired. And of course, I was younger then, but I remember when Bo was fired, that was something people brought up, that they were like, oh, well, there hasn't been that many scandals. And then Riley was hired as the good guy to have no scandals.
No scandals.
There still somehow was one or two in there, I think. And then Rule, we've only really had the Gilbert thing. I can think of
was that
other than drama, like transferring and the Raiola stuff, all that. Like there's drama, but there's not like legal happenings going on.
No. Well, Miles Farmer, that was one, but that was kind of people. Or no, that didn't even occur. That was Mickey. I'm pretty sure that was Mickey.
Ooh, don't dox people now.
No, I'm not. But I guess Mickey. That would have been
right.
Yes.
Yeah, good point.
That would have been.
That is in the Rule era. People forget that is in the Rule era. Yeah.
That is in the Rule era because technically he was still employed, right, at the time to the university.
Yeah, remember he was going to be an assistant coach for a long time. Some people still wanted him to be the head coach, and then that didn't work out. So.
That and do you remember the Mickey Joseph might be the Arizona State head coach for 2 weeks that occurred?
Yeah. Oh man,
that was a former,
if you
whoever his agent was did a good job.
Yeah. Well, he was the Tulsa coach for a hot minute too, if you remember. That was like not necessarily a done deal, but it was like close or something.
Very close. Very, very close. Like some would say it was literally about to happen. Close.
Yeah. No, I think that's one of my favorite worlds. My favorite world to live in, I think, is like alternate reality college and NFL football, because like the butterfly effect that occurs, right?
Oh, sure.
I love that world that we live in. Like Bill Moose almost. Like what if Nebraska was back in the Big 12? How far behind would they be?
Can we stop by we're done with Bill Moose forever after this week?
Oh,
correct?
sorry, are we done? Okay, my bad. Sorry, I didn't get that memo.
I kind of marked it yesterday. I said after the 12 o'clock hour, we were done talking about Bill Moose on the show forever.
My bad. Sorry.
I read my tunnel talk today. And it was all Bill Moose. All of it was Bill Moose. And they were all quoting.
It means nothing.
It means something. It means some things. Like
doesn't mean anything today.
Today, no. Today means nothing. Because I think Troy Dannon actually has a.
Yeah, I mean, it's like looking back at your like high school girlfriend and seeing if they married hot. Like that's all that the Bill Moose memoir was, right? It's like you don't care. It doesn't affect you moving forward.
No,
it's just like, that happened.
But at the same time, if my high school girlfriend wrote a book about how it was all my fault, I don't think I'd be very happy about it.
Did she?
I mean, it wasn't a book, but there was a lot of long text messages.
Interesting.
Apparently, I didn't value our relationship enough, and I just wanted to kiss Nebraska girls.
Well, that happens when you go to a private Catholic school in Illinois, right? You got to teach Trey Taylor not to do that.
Well, I don't think Carmel's all boys. Also, I'm not. You want me to teach Trey Taylor something?
Yeah, you gotta take mentorship and pass it along to the next lineage, the next generation.
I think it would be a very, very bad outlook for Nebraska football if I was the mentor for Trey Taylor heading into the program.
No way.
That's not something I would want to do, because if Trey Taylor ended up failing, everyone would be like, well, it's because, Matt McMaster was mentoring him. And if they didn't put that Chicago idiot with that kid, he probably would have ended up being a good quarterback.
Now, I don't know what you're talking about. I read this chat every single day on your show, and it is nothing but positive support. I think people would really, really get if you were the one who mentored one young Trey Taylor.
No, it'd be terrible. Better mentors. Bring Adrian back and have him mentor him.
Yeah, why not? Well, he's
a good guy.
He's floating around. I mean, like, I don't even know what
is Adrian doing nowadays. Yeah, seriously. What team is he on?
Well, so he was on the 49ers for a hot minute, right? And then he got waived when their injuries actually started to pile up, and they said, oh no, what if he plays? And then they kind of moved forward from there. But sure. I think he's actually like got a very good gig right now where he's kind of the valued backup. Like he's almost the Josh Johnson like character, right? Like I think we're going to see him on league rosters for some time where Adrian could pop around. And I think think of the coaches he's worked under. Yeah, the Jets weren't great, but he has been under Kyle Shanahan for a little bit. He's worked kind of around the league, and being a backup is definitely one of those that it's a unique skill. You have to have an ability to kind of get guys around you to be able to kind of support and know kind of what your vibe is. And some people want to be around you as well, being the backup guy. But obviously you still have to perform. And I mean, he had that 1 year with Birmingham in the UFL. I think that I think he's got himself carved out for a pretty decent backup career.
How about this? Forward. How about this? David Blau. He's David Blau. He's the next. You know who David Blau was? He was on Detroit. Now he's an offensive coordinator.
Yeah. No, the Commanders. Yeah. So he's going to be coaching up Jane. I don't know Adrian obviously personally, but like I would be personally kind of shocked to see if Adrian went into coaching, especially at the NFL level.
I'll throw this at you. Because he did have an internship with the University of Nebraska, I think in the business office. If he went into administration, I don't know if I don't know him personally either. I do know people who do know him, and I do know the people who did the podcast with him when he was back at the university. And all they talked about was how sweet of a guy he was and how he was a super nice dude. He was actually on the airwaves on the station on 1620. So actually, I agree with you. Adrian doesn't strike me as a coach, but I could see Adrian shaking hands and kissing babies and like leading maybe an athletic department in 25 years.
Adrian, future AD of Nebraska?
Oh,
maybe.
Geez. That'd make me feel old.
You never know.
Is that how people in the 90s felt when Trev got appointed to be the athletic director of Nebraska football? It was immediately, God, I feel old. This guy.
I wasn't around for Trev's playing days, but I can only imagine that when he was playing, I don't think anyone ever looked at him and was like, 34, that's a future leader for Nebraska. But I could be wrong. Do you think
people looked at Scott Frost in 1997 and said, yep, that's a future leader of Nebraska?
I'm sure they had thoughts, but I don't know if those were it.
I don't think anybody had thoughts. We didn't even look at him in 2018 and confidently say he could be.
Listen, you want to talk about like the alternate butterfly effect? If Scott Frost doesn't give that rousing speech to get Tom Osborne a national championship, he doesn't get any of the love that he does now, right? Like, I mean, it's the speech that does 90% of his career's work.
I do think, though, he still, regardless of the speech, probably ends up being the Oregon offensive coordinator and then the UCF head coach and then winning a Mickey Mouse national championship, which then...
Whoa, come on now. That was a good Auburn team. You take that back.
Stop it. They won the
Mackenzie Milton got blasted on that pick six, and they still won the game. Come on. Revisionist history on your part, Matt.
It's not revisionist history. They celebrated a national championship that will never be recognized. They were playing.
No, it's very real. It's very real.
They were playing in a power conference or a non-power conference at the time. No, he still does all of that.
You're not going to credit North Dakota State because they're playing in a non-conference, right? They're a non-power conference when they win the national championship. It's not real for you there.
It's very real for me. FCS championship. Now they played in the national championship game, and everybody agreed that the game they were playing in was a national championship game. The only people that thought they were playing in the national championship game against UCF and Auburn was UCF. You can't
listen. If no one believes in you, you got to believe in yourself. All right.
Why is Josh Hodson ad-libbing for Austin and not for me? You're supposed to be Team McMaster.
I don't know. It's more interesting.
Clearly, it's interesting for you when you take the picture of the Monster Energy drink in the bathroom. Hand model Josh Hodson over here.
No.
Wow.
No.
Don't act like I'll never forget.
I was 100% AJ.
All right, let's
I can't believe we started and ended this segment with 9/11. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Never forget.
Are you going to the high school skate championships next week? Wrestling? Is that next week? The wrestling tournament?
Oh, sorry. You cut out. What did you say?
Wrestling tournament next week. You going to that?
Oh, state wrestling? Yeah. So state wrestling, biggest thing, state duels wrapped up last week. Everything in CHI that you need to know. Basically, if you're listening from out of town, there's a lot of construction. Just like get ready for everything to be a headache when you get down there. But state wrestling wise, we don't have the main storylines like we did last year. Tyson Terry was a 4-timer. There's a couple of other guys that were 4-timers on there too. You will see there's a North Carolina commit, Ben Ziola from Scott. Scott's going to be very, very good again in Class B. The girls' state championships will be very interesting as well for Tuesday and Wednesday. But yeah, I'll be down there all week next week. And if you aren't doing anything tomorrow outside of obviously watching the Jays, make sure you're going out to Heartland Hoops or paying attention to it for Grand Island action. Plenty of state championship game previews for boys basketball will be in Grand Island on Saturday.
Okay. I'll keep my eyes for it, and we'll talk about it next week and everything like that. You going to GI?
I will be in GI. Yes, I will be in GI after I do Blue Jay shoot around on 1620 the zone.
Wow. Wait, are you okay? Okay, I got you. I got
Yeah.
you. Yeah. No, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Faux hawk looking great today, by the way.
I just got cut. You guys, I don't.
Yeah.
I've never deemed this a faux hawk, but everyone tells me it is. So if that's what it is what it is.
Can I get a little turn to the side? Can I do a little model action? Look at that fade. I'm getting a haircut today, so it's first time.
Do you want to set up? We can go to the same salon, or you go to a barber.
Go to a salon?
Yeah, dude. Are you kidding me?
What do you? Okay. What's the difference between a barber and a salon? Do you have a woman cut your hair?
Usually a male or a female.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you get curls? Do they like? What do they? Why do you prefer?
No.
Magazines are probably different.
Are you sipping on champagne?
Yes, they are. There's always a Diet Coke offered to me. There's always great snacks, and I get to just talk shop. It's great. It's good networking.
Shop at the salon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you
want to get it because you're a barbershop guy, so you wouldn't understand.
I'm going to a different barber today. I'm done with my barber.
Wow,
that's big. Well, because he talks too much.
Everyone stop. Matt McMaster just said someone talks too much.
Cut my hair. Cut my hair. Cut it. Put the fries in the bag. Cut my hair. Okay.
So alternatively, you just want to have a weird one-on-one relationship with a guy who doesn't talk with you and 30 minutes of silence. That's weird, man.
I want a little bit of chit chat. I'll talk, I'll entertain it, but more than anything, I don't enjoy getting my hair cut. I don't go there being like, wow, I'm so excited for this. It's just something that needs to happen. Cut my hair, please. I respect all barbers out there. I respect all salon people out there. I think what you do, I could never do, and I'm very impressed by it. You guys are artists. For me personally, I don't want to spend more than 45 minutes in your shop. And the guy that I go to, I spend over an hour every single time.
Oh, that's right. That was your
over
problem.
An hour.
It wasn't necessarily that he was talking and you had to talk back to him. It was that he couldn't work and talk at the same time. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It took over.
I remember this now. I'm
cut my hair. I want a little low fade and I want a little short on. I want short on top, but shorter on the sides. That's all I need. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll parlay the message however I can.
He likes to take the little like fancy ass blade thing too and try and I'm just like, dude, get out of here with that. All right, stop.
Sorry, he's trying to make you look your best. We're so sorry for that. That's tough.
Well, you always make me look the best, so I appreciate that, Austin Jacobsen.
That's right.
Joins us every Friday here on 1620 The Zone on Middays with Matt. AJ, I'll see you next Friday.
Hey, we'll see you again. Shout out Podcast. Shout out Fremont Bowling, baby.
You'll be here in 2 weeks in this very chair subbing for me. Do you remember that you agreed to do that? No, he does not.
Yeah, I do now.
He totally forgot that he agreed to.
You get to hang out with me, Austin.
Yeah,
I love hanging out with producer Josh. My favorite.
Seems like producer Josh likes hanging out with Austin more than he likes hanging out with me.
I like you both equally.
Equally? Really? Equally?
Mm-hmm.
I host with you.
Matt, I'll tell you who I like more off the air.
It's a McMidday here on 1620 The Zone. Everbland coming up next.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt here on 1620 The Zone. It's a big day here on 1620 The Zone because it is the start of baseball season in college. Omaha men's baseball in action. Creighton men's baseball in action. But from the Omaha World Herald, our fearless beat reporter for Nebraska men's baseball, it is Mr. Evan Bland. Evan, welcome for the first time to Middays with Matt here on 1620 The Zone.
Happy midday, Matt. This is a delight to be checking in on an early afternoon.
It is an absolute delight. You and I are used to talking to each other at 8:30 on Mondays. We have now shifted to the beautiful hours of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And whenever I now get to pick and choose my spots with you, Evan Bland, which will be absolutely beautiful for us as this baseball season moves forward, as it begins today. Let's talk about Nebraska baseball here. They were picked 4th in the men's Big Ten preseason poll. Technically, I would like to say they are first in the Big Ten preseason poll, just because the 3 teams ahead of them are the West Coast teams of the Big Ten. But what is the outlook this season, Mr. Bland, for Nebraska baseball this season in your eyes?
Yeah, if this were 2 years ago, without the West Coast schools, Nebraska would be the favorite if you go by the coaches polls. And in my rankings, I put them 3rd. I think they'll actually have a better team than USC, just because that was a team that lost quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, I think it's the outlook is similar to what it's been the last handful of years under Will Bolt. Like, the stated goal internally is going to be try to host a regional, and for what it's worth, they've gotten close to doing that in 21 and 24. They were probably 2 or 3 games away from making that happen. And so the way that they do that is they scheduled really tough early on, and then you have to win midweek games and you have to win series, and that's sort of the path to that. But I think probably the most likely scenario is similar to what we've seen the last couple of years, where they have a good enough product or season to be a regional team, probably on the road somewhere. It's really hard to be one of 16 teams that host, especially in a cold weather climate and a cold weather conference like the Big Ten. So I think that's probably the most likely outcome, is you're a regional 2 or a regional 3 seed somewhere. And we can kind of get into, what the strengths are and things like that. But the schedule does line up to where that first 3 weeks here, especially starting tonight, like, if you can take care of business and have a winning record going into conference play, like, you have a lot of stuff on the table. So I think they absolutely are a team that'll be in the mix in the Big Ten. And then, of course, you get into that tournament in Omaha, and Nebraska's had some pretty good luck with that the last couple of years too.
Let's talk about the starting pitching for Nebraska baseball. It looks a little bit different from this season to last season. We're projecting that Ty Horn will be the Friday starter this season. And then what is that kind of looking, the Saturday, Sunday starters looking like for the Husker baseball team this year? And how might we see it evolve? Because the last couple of seasons, it seems like the Friday, Saturday, Sunday guys that we start off with at the beginning of the year don't necessarily end up being the ones that we're seeing play in the months of May and June.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think Nebraska wants to have it to where you can set it and forget it for most of the year. Ty Horn clearly has earned that right to be the Friday guy. Like, he was the guy who he shut out against UCLA for the Big Ten tournament title last May, and former heralded prospect. He's got the attitude, the personality that you want, the ability of a Friday guy. And then, to me, I mean, maybe the biggest swing player X factor on the team this year is Carson Yassa, who's going to go Saturday. And, like, you just think about the range of outcomes. Like, he went to the Cape Cod League last year. He had a great offseason. He's a guy who's going to hit upper 90s consistently. He's got multiple pitches. The knock on him has always been command. And by all accounts, he's figured that out now. So, like, if that all comes together for him, and he's showing up on Major League Baseball draft prospect list at this point, and he's done virtually nothing as a college pitcher in games to this point. If he puts it all together. Like suddenly Nebraska's got a 1-2 punch atop the rotation that allows you to move everyone down a rung in terms of their role. That probably allows a guy like Gavin Blachowicz to be a midweek guy, and Nebraska hasn't had a consistent midweek starter and really much at all in the Will Bolt era. So like that's a massive swing on that end. If it doesn't work out, then you got to move up a guy like Cooper Kapsky, who right now is going to be the Sunday guy this week, transfers in, MAC pitcher of the year from Miami of Ohio. And then you might need Blachowicz potentially in the weekend or out of the bullpen. And so I'll be really fascinated to see how Yasa does against Northeastern on Saturday. That's a team that likes to run and turned over a lot of its lineup from last year that went to a regional. So that's fascinating. And then, like I mentioned, Katsky comes in really along with Horn. He's now the only guy with college experience turning over lineups multiple times. So it seems like that they're 4 deep in terms of quality starters. And then you like Kevin Monell on the back end as the closer. They have a couple of nice bullpen pieces. You can see how it can come together.
Sure.
But as we see in college baseball all the time, like those first few weekends are always so telling because you see it all behind the scenes and you record the metrics and things. But once the games start, that does reveal a few other things. So it's going to be a really interesting couple of weeks here for Nebraska.
It's very interesting, Evan. You bring up Yasa, right? Because this is a guy that last season, he only made 11 appearances. He has an 8.68 ERA and 18 innings pitched last season. And yet there's been some legitimate buzz around him. And there's been some reports of MLB prospects being interested in Carson and him potentially taking a big step. And this is really all stemming from the offseason and not really a lot of what he did on the field last year. My question to you is, does this remind you of Brett Sears? I mean, is this kind of that 2.0 maybe potentially for Nebraska baseball?
Well, there's an element of that. I mean, Sears was a guy who started off D1, went to JUCO, bounced back, was honestly a forgettable bullpen piece the year before he becomes the starter and wins Big Ten Pitcher of the Year. So that was a pretty huge ascent. And so I think there's an element of that with Yasa where, they tried him on the weekends. They tried him in relief a little bit, and the command just wasn't there. I mean, you watch some of the warm-up pitches. They were going to the backstop. You hear stories even the year that he redshirted his first year a couple of years ago, and you don't see a ton of red shirts in college baseball necessarily, but they couldn't even throw like live hitters against him oftentimes because they didn't want anybody to get hurt. And so that piece has come along. He's worked with Rob Childress quite a bit. Like we said, he had a great summer in the Cape Cod League, had his moments in the fall and certainly this spring. But like the potential was always there. Like Nebraska saw him as a project out of high school. He was a kid from Colorado whose parents had Nebraska ties. Oregon was a team at that time that was interested in him. That was the other finalist for him, actually. And so, like, you could always see the raw ability. And now he's been coached up for a couple of years. Like, we talk about development all the time in football or whatever sport. And this is an example of that. Like, if he comes out and he's dealing, like, it's a huge feather in the cap, I think, of the Nebraska coaching staff in terms of finding repeatable mechanics and helping him become a pitcher and not just a thrower. And so again, it's such an interesting weekend here for him and really the next couple where if he can handle some of these regional type of lineups, I mean, you feel really good about what this rotation can be this year.
What do you think of some of the matchups here this weekend for Nebraska baseball? It's kind of interesting, right? You're going to play the Big East favorite in UConn. You play the Northeast Huskies who went to the NCAA tournament last season. They won the CAA. They were the conference champion. They got some a guy in Harrison Feinberg who was projected to be a second-team All-American heading into the series. I don't think Nebraska is going to play anybody who had more wins than Northeastern. And then you have a funny, Evan, it's kind of like Grand Canyon has become a regular foe, that this team is used to playing year in and year out. And then you kind of cap it off with a Stanford Cardinal team that, isn't too far removed from making the College World Series in Omaha here 2 seasons ago, but definitely isn't the Stanford that we're used to. Just what do you make of these 4 games and these 4 teams that Nebraska baseball is going to start their season off against?
Yeah, it's a quality field. Absolutely. And I think it is interesting that the first 2 opponents are other cold weather teams in UConn and Northeastern, which is out of Boston. So you don't have that inherent disadvantage of facing teams that have been outside for weeks and weeks practicing. So I think UConn's probably, of those four, the most established of the group, and they have some new players too, but that's a team that at least somewhat resembles what it was last year. Northeastern, you mentioned Feinberg is the star piece, but like their entire pitching staff is gone. That was the team that led the country and earned run average. Last year, they won 27 straight games at one point. So this is a much different Northeastern team than what made a regional last year. Still quality club, but just different. And then Grand Canyon, kind of the same thing. I mean, they turned over the majority of their roster. That's been a team that's been pretty consistently in the postseason mix the last couple of years. So when you schedule these games, and in this case, Nebraska just wanted to be part of the event, but like these are teams that you count on having strong seasons, so your RPI is stronger itself toward the end of the year. And so like those first three schools that we're talking about all have really consistent track records in the last at least 5 years of being in that mix, winning 30 to 40 games and being in contention. And then, yeah, I mean, Stanford has been down for a couple of years. It kind of reminds me a little bit of how we viewed UCLA a year ago, where that was a team that had missed the postseason a couple of years in a row, and then they roared back all the way to the College World Series. I kind of wonder if Stanford has a little bit of that DNA, where it does have a lot of quality pieces. It adjusted to life in the ACC last year. Maybe that's a team that makes a run too. So it's I mean, ultimately for Nebraska, it's a chance to really see where you are, and if you can go at least 2-2, like those are going to be wins that are going to keep on giving all the way up to Selection Monday in late May.
Let's talk about some of the newcomers here, because there's guys on this team. Everyone knows about Dylan Carey. Everyone knows about Josh Overbeek. You know, Rhett Stokes has been a part of this team for a long time. Case Sanderson. You know, we saw some really, really good things from Max Budenbach last season. Hoping to see some more good things out of Max this year in terms of the fact that, you know, that home run he had against Omaha last season might be one of the farthest hit balls I've seen in college baseball. I mean, that thing, never forget that. But let's talk about some new guys. What are some names, some transfer, maybe even some freshmen that people can keep their eye on, and don't be surprised if they make some impacts this season for the Husker baseball team.
Yeah, there are quite a few. I think Cole Kitchens is an interesting one. He's a guy kind of in the Ty Stone mold from last year. He'll play some first base, some DH. He's got a lot of power coming in. Really the one freshman that I feel confident is going to play a role right away is Jeter Worthley at catcher, younger brother of Jalen. And, you know, that's the guy I think is going to probably end up being a multi-year starter. He's got that intangible piece as a leader. He may well lead off tonight against UConn. Like that's how highly they view him. And then I think the outfield is really interesting to me. It's a little thin on paper in terms of like proven production, but you look at kind of the two deep there, and it just strikes me as a group that at least early on is probably going to be a little bit fluid. I mean, you've got a guy like Matt Moyer who could play some center. I don't know that he'll be in the starting lineup. He's the son of Jamie Moyer, longtime MLB pitcher. Nico Newhan is a guy that they brought in as a power bat who's been in the outfield. I don't know that he's necessarily going to be a day one starter. Preston Freeman, another newcomer, kind of in the same vein. So, I mean, tonight you could well see Devin Nunez in center, Butenbach and Jeske. And then I just feel like that's a group maybe that's going to see some different pieces. Mike and Miller is another guy. He's a JUCO ad who's number 2 catcher, but also can play some outfield. So they have some position flexibility there to find ways to get different guys in the lineup. And I do think that's been a piece that's held back this team at times during the Will Bolt era, where it just maybe feels like the lineup drops off after the 5th or 6th or 7th spot in the lineup. And at least at this point, it does seem like you could probably go 11 or 12 deep and plausibly find somebody who's going to come in there and make something happen with their bat. So again, like I just can't overstate how especially these first 3 weeks or so are so important in guys finding that confidence. And if you have a good day or two, I mean, it can really turn into an established role for a lot of the season.
You know, it's kind of interesting, Evan, like these last couple of years under Bolt, right? You go 34-13 in 2021. You know, you have that classic regional against Arkansas, right? and the super regional, right, against Arkansas, if I'm not mistaken. End up losing that one, and then you have a lot of expectations heading into the next year, right, and you kind of fall short. And then the year after that, you don't make the NCAA tournament, but you did have Bryce Matthews on that team and Max Anderson on that team, and I think they were one of the very few teams that had 2 All-Americans but didn't make the NCAA tournament. Then you follow that up with a really good 2024 year. You go 40-22, like things are looking up. Things are hey, you're back on track, right? You're kind of back to where you thought you would be back in 2022. And then last season, they make it to the NCAA tournament, but what happens if that right fielder doesn't drop that ball in the outfield in Omaha, right? What are we talking about heading into this season, and what is the outlook on Will Bolt? I mean, how much is at stake in terms of the perception of Will Bolt and the program under his tutelage this year, having a successful season and having high expectations, like you mentioned, being 4th in the preseason poll. And if this wasn't, the Pac-12 Big Ten, they would be the favorite.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's funny because the years where they've really thrived, like you mentioned, 21 and 24, they weren't really viewed that way, at least with the Big 12 or Big 10 coaches. And then in the other years when they have broken out, it's just been kind of the opposite. So,
yeah,
I agree. Like the dropped fly ball and right against Michigan State in the Big 10 tournament, it did change a ton of the outlook. So what you talk about now is back-to-back tournament championships and back-to-back regionals. Well, very, very nearly was not either of those things. And it does, I think, affect the perception of that. Now, like, I don't know that you can have too harsh of a stance on where the team is. Like, they have been more of a consistent NCAA tournament presence, which, is a step forward. But it's also true that this is a team that hasn't advanced beyond the regional weekend in 20 years since they were in the College World Series back in 2005. So it does, you do get the sense that there's a ceiling that this program has reached. And in the regionals, you kind of see why. I mean, when you see North Carolina and Oklahoma State and Arkansas, like those are teams with a ton of resources. Those are teams that can mash the heck out of the ball in a way that Nebraska has rarely been able to do. And so it'll be interesting to me how they close the gap on some of those, because Nebraska is more focused on having a power lineup than I believe that they have in the Bolt era to this point. And then you look at some of the resources that are going into it, where you talk about this ramp up, and this is athletic department wide at Nebraska, but the ramp up of scholarships now, because they don't affect the revenue sharing cap, like that's interesting. Like, what can Nebraska baseball be if they're in some way funding all 34 roster spots? Like, that's totally uncharted territory where they could be on equal footing, at least in that way, with the SEC and in the ACC. So I think it kind of feels like this is an ongoing conversation. And obviously, you want to make a run and get beyond kind of the place that you've ended your season the last couple of years. But I think if you're competitive, if you're in that conversation late, like, baseball's a sport such that, like, that's all you can really ask for. Be in the mix, be playing meaningful games into June, and then let the chips fall where they may, and eventually, who knows? If the pieces come together, maybe Nebraska has that ability to make another run.
Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. He will be a regular on this show as the season goes on for Nebraska baseball. We are looking forward to having our conversations with you. Evan, talk to you soon, my friend.
Thanks, Matt. See you later.
See you later indeed. Evan Bland talked to me when I was at the College of Journalism. Came in, was a mentor to people. It's like, hey, we're going to bring in this professional, Evan Bland. He's going to talk to you about writing at the Omaha World Herald. Little did that man know that in that class,
it was his fault.
No.
Oh.
No.
I think of Evan as a young guy. He's mentoring the youth of America?
Yes.
Okay.
He's a mentor. We should put that as official title, not Omaha World Herald, World Herald. Mentor of the youth of America, Evan Bland.
I can absolutely do that.
Yes, you can. Can we get the Crap Tech University graphic up and going too on our next break, please?
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get that tuned up.
I take requests.
Thank you. You're like a good DJ at a wedding, if you will. Josh Odson, not a producer, but a DJ of radio.
I've been called worse.
Okay. I don't think it was an insult.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. Tomato, tomato?
Potato, potato.
All right, cool. We're going to talk about something. I don't know what.
Ooh, surprise.
A surprise coming up on Middays with Matt on 1620.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Time to go to court. Time to do.
First of all, we're going to court. Second of all, there's a song for going to court.
I'm quoting Ted too.
Oh,
Time to go to court. Look, John, I'm a complete a-hole.
I'm quoting Ted too.
Why?
Said no one ever.
What do you mean you don't quote Ted too? Oh, Johnny, you'll put the stuffing on the wrong spots. That's quoting Ted.
Poll question: do you quote Ted too?
Hands.
You're not gonna like the results of this.
Touching hands. Reaching out. And then Ted goes, ba, ba, ba. Damn it. And then he runs away. Matt needs to go to my chick for a haircut
Careful.
at 100. I'm just reading
I know.
Yo-Yo.
I know.
At 108th and Dodge. Has her own room. In and out. No wait. Great haircut. She's awesome and hot.
Has her own room?
That sounds like more than a haircut. Well, also, do you call your barber my chick?
I don't. Other people do. I understand what he's saying.
John Claude Van Thran.
Oh,
I feel like I'm saying something inappropriate, but I don't know what.
I don't know either, so I'm going to let you say it.
Nurses and cosmetologists are the easiest people to date if you're a train wreck. You're like a sad puppy to them.
Oh.
Just a heads up, Matt. Am I a train wreck? Don't answer that. Don't answer that question.
It was rhetorical.
Don't answer that question. That was not the question that was meant for you to answer. You've said plenty today, Josh.
No, I'm good. I'm watching baseball.
Well, I got a stern texting to from your wife the other day. We never talked about this on the air.
Whoa. Okay, let's do that.
She got very mad at me about my statements on Nick Carraway and how I liked Nick Carraway and The Great Gatsby.
Oh, Tobey Maguire?
Yeah, she was very upset with me. It was like I wrote a whole thesis about how bad of a narrator Nick Carraway was, and you couldn't believe in him. What are you talking about? I was like, whoa, what happened to sending me food?
Yeah, she normally sends you
and a home cooked meal
and support. Yeah.
Yeah, she got really mad at me.
Huh.
I was like, what is this about? Over Tobey Maguire of all people?
I did tell her, and I may have misconstrued your thoughts, that you said The Great Gatsby was a Tobey Maguire movie.
Okay. And
gave her no other tidbits of information.
Did I not tell you that I was clearly joking?
You did, but I didn't tell my wife.
She
that.
did send me a picture of your awesome son, who I'm a big fan of.
Oh, yeah?
Drinking ranch.
Oh, yeah. He'll finish. You get the little cup of ranch at a restaurant, and he'll finish that thing like a shot glass when he's done with his fries.
Be real with you. That kid is going to be massive.
He's going to be a tank.
He's going to be I'm concerned.
If anyone from Iowa Western's listening, Aaron Terry, I think you got a new D lineman at my house.
What is that? Never mind.
I don't know if he's got the motor for it, though.
What do you think he has the motor for?
Bowling.
I texted your wife. I'm glad there's a nightly you wouldn't believe what Matt said moment every night at the Odson household.
There was always a you won't believe what Connor said today.
She responded with, there really is.
Mm-hmm.
I responded with, hope is more funny than stupid, right? Fishing for a compliment there was I. She responded with, depends on the day, Matt.
Whoa. Man.
Damn it.
She really busted your chops.
Yeah, much like her husband.
Oh, no.
You're not even willing to admit that our guests, you like me more than our guests.
I like you more than lots of our guests.
You want to go to court?
I think that's where you want to go, so I'll go there with you.
Okay.
I don't care where we go as long as we go together.
Do you want to hold hands?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Yo-Yo is still going on about his chick who cuts his hair and is hot. Okay.
Says we're the idiots, which is entirely possible.
And now Jean-Claude is saying, I don't trust anyone who wasn't a train wreck in their 20s. Guys, I want to go to court. Can we talk about court?
Yo-Yo, I cut my own hair. Like I don't know how hair cutting works.
Right, weird flex, bro. All right, I guess you're cool.
No, I'm telling Yo-Yo, I'm an idiot.
What do you want, a cookie?
Do you have one?
I don't.
Okay.
We do have bagels though.
We do.
Here today.
All right, let's go to court.
Let's go to court. Everyone asking why isn't Brian Flores being hired to be stop it.
We know the answer to that, don't we?
Okay. Well, it's court. All right. It's nothing. Stop it. It's
Okay.
I mean, it's court. It's court. A U.S. District Court ruled Friday that Minnesota Vikings offensive coordinator Brian Flores is an ongoing discrimination case against the NFL can proceed in open court. Last year, attorneys for Flores, along with fellow coaches Steve Wilkes and Ray Horton, asked for reconsideration of a court order that shifted some of their lawsuits against the NFL and multiple teams to the league's arbitration process. So this is pretty big. Just because, like, you know, there's a difference between having arbitration court, right? And like there, being a settlement or what, or, whatever it might be, and having the doors closed and nobody reported, all that stuff, into now this being an open court, and this being where potentially you could go into discovery, where then you can try and get evidence and gain evidence and try and open things up and prove your case. And so this is an instance where this could be very interesting for Brian Flores and for the NFL in terms of if this does end up going to court and there is a discovery process in terms of what do they find. And this is a concerning thing if you're the NFL and you have some skeletons in the closet, especially over a topic that has been a hot button conversation in terms of diversity amongst head coaching candidates and just top positions across the NFL. And, very famously, the Rooney Rule being established in order to kind of cut through any potential racism that might exist within the league in terms of hiring processes to get, minorities opportunities that they deserve. And so very interesting here that this is a case that has to do with, something that, has to do with discrimination. And the fact that this could go to open court potentially, and there could be a discovery process and we could find some things, this may not be a very good thing for the NFL. May not be a very good thing for the NFL in the slightest. And also another thing that we have to keep our eyes on here is also, John Gruden is trying to do the same thing when it comes to his firing from the Las Vegas Raiders. Because what people don't understand is that emails got leaked out about John Gruden, him saying some very inappropriate and disparaging things that we absolutely do not stand for here on the show. And he got fired because of those comments and because of those emails. But the question that John Gruden begs was, how the hell did those emails get leaked? Those emails came from a separate investigation that had to do with the Washington R words at the time. And why did, out of the thousands and thousands of emails that were acquired from that investigation, why in the hell did those 4 emails that targeted me, why were those the only emails released? And so if that court case, which like this one with Brian Flores and fellow coaches, that case was supposed to go to arbitration as well, and go through the league's arbitration process. They are now, heading in that direction of that going to open court as well. So be aware, everybody. Like, we did our commissioner rankings a couple of weeks ago, and we had mentioned, wow, there hasn't been like a massive NFL scandal in a while. There hasn't been a massive league-wide what the hell is going on in a while.
Everybody's getting along.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a U.S. District Court ruling that Brian Flores' ongoing discrimination case can proceed in open court, and all claims can be handled at a trial, and not going through the league's arbitration process, is something that I'm sure a lot of people at the league offices have their head on a swivel now and trying to see what is going to happen next. And so this is kind of one of those things where it's those instances where these are stories that kind of go under the radar until they just hit you like a truck. You're like, whoa, this is going on. This is kind of the warning of things are happening. Oh my God, we are way over our clock. My God, we got to go to break. No, we have to go to break here.
I was so captivated.
I'm sorry. It's something important to talk about, but we have to go to break. Middays is bad. Big board coming up next on 1620 The Zone. Alrighty, enter online at 1620thezone.com for your chance to win a year's supply of Girl Scout cookies, brought to you by Girl Scout Spirit of Nebraska. Runs from now until March 15th. Cookie booths will start opening Friday, February 13th, just in time for Valentine's Day. That's today. Also, too, don't forget the Black Keys are heading to Omaha Peaches and Cream Tour with Eddie 9V, Monday, July 20th at the Astro. Pre-sale tickets on Thursday, February 12th at 10 a.m. Password is The Zone. So it already opened here 10 a.m., so you can go and get your tickets right now through Ticketmaster. You can find more details at 1620thezone.com. What are we watching this weekend, Josh Hobbs?
We are watching college basketball. Northwestern at number 7, Nebraska. That's noon tomorrow on BTN. Number 9, Kansas. Number 5, Iowa State. Noon tomorrow on ABC. Villanova, Creighton. 1:30 tomorrow on Big Fox. Coverage begins right here on 1620 The Zone at noon. John Bishop takes you inside the arena at 1 o'clock on 101.9 The Keg and 1620 The Zone. Let's see. We'll skip ahead to the women's game. Number 3, South Carolina. Number 6, LSU. 7:30 tomorrow night on ABC. NBA All-Star Weekend in L.A. at the Intuit Dome. Celebrity games tonight on ESPN. All-Star Saturday night, 4 o'clock. So it's a little earlier than normal because of the Olympics. It's on NBC this year. And the All-Star Games, plural, USA versus the world, 4 o'clock Sunday on NBC. Olympics all weekend long on NBC. Nebraska softball against UCF, 12:30 tomorrow on ESPN Plus, and then 5 o'clock Sunday against number 1 Texas Tech on ESPN. Baseball, Nebraska versus UConn, 7 o'clock tonight on MLB Network. They play Saturday and Sunday on MLB.com. Creighton versus St. Mary's, 4 o'clock today, noon and 4 o'clock Saturday on ESPN Plus. Mavericks taking on Arizona State, 6:30 tonight and all weekend long on ESPN Plus. The 68th running of the Daytona 500 is 1:30 Sunday on Big Fox. Matt, you got a big board? You got a dog?
I got dog.
All right, folks, let's talk right now. I'm going to kill your bookmaker. I'm going to rip his throat out. I will blow this man out. I will step on his throat until the man chokes. Let me tell you how. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. I'm on a roll.
Dude, you got to love dogs, right?
All right, let's do it. Match Daytona, big board, baby. Hey, you won the summer race earlier in the year. Let's go with Ryan Blaney, plus 1,000 to win the Daytona 500. Also, he looked great yesterday in the duels out racing. Carson Hocevar yesterday gave me number 9, Napa Chase Elliott. And then we'll go to a guy who historically is really good on these super speedways in the number 2, Austin Cindric. And then another guy who pretty good on the super speedways as well, has shown that he can, as long as he's got help with some of his Fords up there with Brad Keselowski and Ryan Preece, which it seems like he will. Chris Buescher at plus 2,000. Love that bet. And then at the very bottom, I just love the number 48 car. He finished number 6 in qualifying. He's got a fast automobile. It's Alex Bowman plus 2,200. All of those bets, $10. You get a $50 profit on Ryan Blaney. You get $150 profits on Chris Buescher and on Austin Cindric. You'd get $170 profit on Alex Bowman, and you would get a $110 profit on Chase Elliott. So our dogs of the day. It's been Middays with Matt. It's been a fun week of suspense and thrill and sports. We will see you back here after a great weekend on Monday. USC and the crossover up next.